All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. How y'all doing? Still my birthday. I just finished with all the family calls and all of that. Let's load up the chat. DJ Sturf. It's a great stream already. Make sure the volume is down. Yeah, good day. It was 86 degrees outside, absolutely beautiful, 86 and sunny. So I took a trip out to the park and I ran a little bit. Adam's like, you free? Streaming. Okay. But what else did I do? I took a lot of family calls. So I talked with my sisters, good catching up with them. I don't talk to them all that frequently, but it was good catching up with them. Cool. There we go. Hey everyone. Adam says you're 30. No, I'm 43. And the way people put it on the cards and all that, they'll be like 43 exclamation point. I'm like 43 factorial. I'm really old. Chelsea, hi. Is it Arad butter? Arid butter. Happy birthday, Sturf. Thank you. Adventure Bonnie, thanks. Adventure Bonnie 5. Okay, same thing as Adventure Bonnie. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Among Us, the boss. Hey, what's up? Thanks, Chelsea. Happy BD, dude. Thanks, Don't Slip. Hey, James. Zalan Karbi, how you doing? Or Zalar Khanbi, right? I Anyway, yeah. Yeah, April 1st is my actual birthday. What's up, Corey? How you doing? Good to have you on the chat. 25 viewers, sweet. This is like 24 more viewers than I'm used to having right now. After being YouTube algoed to death. Part of it is I do feel a little bit betrayed by the YouTube algo because they just stopped recommending my stuff to my subscribers. And if you look at the metrics for, let's say, the Five Nights at Freddy's While Juggling, I would think that my subscribers would have liked to have notification about that and watch that video, especially with the challenge style videos that I've done in the past. But I mean, I'm juggling on a DDR pad while beating Five Nights at Freddy's 420 mode. That's pretty cool. But when you look at the metrics, man, it was like, what, 17,000 views and something like a quarter of those are actual subscribers. So it's like saying that 4% of my subscribers actually wanted to watch that. So a lot of people are just saying they didn't get my notifications. But I'm also really busy. So either it's an email from someplace saying, hey, there's something for you to test, or hey, there's something for you to proof, or hey, we have this new draft. There's always something coming in. I'm working on PhD coursework, and this isn't to excuse not making videos really much, but at the same time, I do have more in the tank. I'm 43, I'm Unk status, but I still have a lot left to do if the Lord gives me time. So Lord willin', we be chillin'. That's the basic summation of it. Let's keep going with the comments. A fund apple. A fundable. Happy birthday, thank you. I'm not going to do justice to these screen names. Bacon Mayo Man, 1916. Wow, 1916? Maybe 110 years old. Sweet. Happy birthday, Sir Sturf. Thank you. Fire emojis times 5. Happy birthday, my guy. Positive vibes. Thanks, Fredbear Nightmare 1243. Are they just putting 4 digits at the end of? I don't know. It's been a little bit. Funny Fox Yow 6556. Happy birthday, Sturf. Remember watching your videos from back in the day. Always love your UCN videos. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. The thing is, like, I still left a little bit on the table, and I didn't update the compendiums where I had like all the strategies and all that. So I could have synthesized those more, put the green runs together so it was anthology. That would have been more impressive than what I have out there right now. Wistful Sum. Hey, Sturf, happy birthday, dude. Thank you. Raffin Hado FNAF, yeah. Happy birthday, DJ. And just put the phonetic pronunciation. if anyone, if I mess up your screen name, sorry about that. Among Us, the Boss 4623. Yo, April 1st is an awesome birthday to have, that's for sure. Yeah, April Cools, right? Not April Fools. Um, I'll intersperse some commentary here. So, what has already been teased by the Grand Poobah? Uh, there is stuff that is being worked on, which is cool. And I don't know. It's just, it depends on what, like there's a different crowd for different things, like different crowds, like different elements of what comes out for Five Nights at Freddy's. So there's always something coming out, but we're not stagnant by any means. I've been working on a lot of stuff in the background. 43, wow, yeah. Hey, Kirby, there we go. What's up, Adam? I mentioned you on the stream earlier here. Fusion 1203, hi. Among Us, the Boss, happy birthday. Okay, you just said that. You got number one on the chat right now, though. That's pretty cool. Moldy Thai Boogie, Moldy Thai Boogie 2348. Happy birthday, thank you, Adam. Yeah, thanks. You can, yeah. Just I won't be streaming for too long, but I wanted to get a stream. Like I had a lot of family calls and they lasted pretty long, and then we had Bible study tonight, so I was teaching that. The teaching went really well tonight. There were some people who were basically like they had family members who were really demeaning them and like basically calling them stupid because one girl had a learning disability and the family member just got frustrated with it. But we took a lot of time to minister to her because I mean it's like she's accomplished a lot even despite what people have written her off as being able to do. And so a lot of people had good experiences to share to encourage her as well. But we finished out Acts chapter 13 and just a good time of ministry. So ministry out at the mall. And for all who don't know, I mean, I've been an ordained pastor since 2009, but I've done ministry since 1999. Party like it's 1999. All the way back to my TV days. I did TV and radio, and how DJ Sturf came about in terms of the nickname. It's kind of funny. So senior year, I was just joking around about, messing around with turntables. I had no clue what I'm doing with turntables. I still don't. I was more of an MC when I actually did radio, but there was this Battle of the Bands event senior year, and so they asked me to be the DJ, and it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. I was always in the running for some of the superlatives. I did win prom king. I was top 3 for most popular and class clown. I think I was second for most popular and third for class clown. It was something like that. But I was very social. I knew a lot of people. And I guess the thing is, too, like, I always tried to make people welcome. And that's just something, if I see someone on the sides or whatever, I try to make the extra effort to bring people in. Like, if they're just kind of wallflowers, I'm like, okay, well, if they want to join in, I try to hang out with them. And so friends to a lot of people. And I'm hoping we have our 25th high school reunion this year. I haven't heard anything about it, but it's coming up, like, should be next month. May is actually pretty free for me, but April is going to be crazy. I'm officiating a wedding for a friend. I'm doing premarital counseling, 4 sessions before that. I'm finishing up another PhD course. Man, and I'm trying to finish up this sermon poem. So I write sermon form poetry. And it's on creation for the first half, and then it's on new creation. So talking about creation, so God creating the heavens and the earth. And it could be really cool as a presentation over scenes of nature or things like that. And then the second half is about being new creations in Christ. And so if any man is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things old are passed away. Behold, all things are made new. That's 2 Corinthians 5:17. So, and that's more of an evangelistic side. So, yeah. Let me continue with the commentary here. So I'm staying on track, but I have a lot to do. And what was I getting at with a superlative? So, oh yeah, Battle of the Bands event. So I was like, well, I got to come up with a DJ name. And one of my friends goofily called me Sturf for short. My sisters used to call me Stir Fry, but they spell it with an E because my first name's Sterling. So Sturf was what my friend Glenn, he called me Sturf, and I was like, that's not a great nickname. I just thought it was funny, but I was like, oh, it could be DJ Sturf, DJ Sturf, the ones and twos. So yeah, I was supposed to do that, but I think the event just got canceled, and we never did it. And then the opportunity after TV, we had the #1 show on the network. And this was like, I think it reached from Virginia down to South Carolina or something. It was cable, but it wasn't like national cable. It was LP, low powered cable LP station. People call it Channel 5. It was not closed circuit TV, but it was definitely, it was LP cable. But we had the #1 show on there, and the owner of the station wanted to bring in his youth group into it, and that's great. I welcomed the crew, but I guess like he thought I was too out there, rambunctious, and he I mean, you know me as pretty level headed, but I mean I was like super high energy on the show, and I don't know, a little rambunctious. I kind of get it, but he brought in the youth pastors from his church, and they ran it into the ground. There was a contract we had with Sky Angel. If you look up Sky Angel, that was a Christian cable satellite station, and we had a series of shows that we were going to air on there, but he just basically ran into, like, the two youth pastors ran it into the ground. Those never, I don't think they actually made it to Sky Angel. Man, and so the station owner felt bad about that enough to put me on the news show as a broadcaster, and so I did various segments, whether it was the E News or the T News, and I have some goofy pictures I had these ceramic braces at the time, and me on TV with this goofy smile. And I was a lot thinner at the time too. Like I was, I was still a good, 6'0", 6'1" at the time. And, I guess the tallest I ever was 6'2". So now I'm like 6'1.3". I think I've shrunk. Maybe DDR and Step Maniacs kind of force that a little bit, but you do shrink over time just a little bit, just gravity and joints and all that. But anyway, but I was like 135 on my track weight when I was running. At seminary I got a little bit thinner too. It was bad. Man, with the skin fold, they couldn't even really do it and get an accurate reading. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm thin. So anyway, and I do need to lose a little bit of weight before joggling, and I think that'll probably help the plantar fasciitis too, is losing a little bit of weight. But I feel good. I think my body's happy. But anyway, I did have a lot of Thai iced tea today, so I got four 24-ounce Thai iced teas yesterday, and then I just kind of drank. I guess I got through about half of it, but it was really good. And then I like the Publix mint lemongrass tea as well, kind of there for just regular hydration. So a lot of random info there, but DJ Sturf was kept because I started playing DDR competitively around that time when I had the nickname, and then I was on radio for several years, and then I did the music, what was it, program manager, program director, program manager, I think. It's like what, Windows program manager, Progman. Maybe it was one of those two titles, but I basically got music in while I was at seminary, and then I came back on summer breaks and all that, and would do radio during the breaks. So that's how I kept DJ Sturf. I played DDR, and I kept the name DJ Sturf, the moniker, and then I was like, all right, well, let me start a YouTube channel. So then DJ Sturf, and my first videos were making DDR videos. Unfortunately, DDR is not really available in full all over the place here in the US. I guess I could play Grand Prix, I do have that, but it lags. Like, sometimes you'll have all marvelouses, and then the arrow just won't even load in time. Like, it'll just like pause, and they're like, like it passes by the time you actually can hit it, and then it doesn't even register what you hit. So you get like, a good or a miss or something like that. And it's just very annoying. Not really worth it. Thanks for the hearts, y'all. Oh man, how's everything? Everything's going well. Aylin, happy birthday. My birthday is on April 2nd. Hey, happy pre-birthday. So Aylin Paz. Dotso, happy birthday. Thank you so much. James. You Yeah, I wonder. It seemed like a key mash. It was like what DHFGH for Springtrap. That's key mash, and then RWQFSFASXC. Pretty sure that's just a key mash. Like so. Um, I'm alright-ish, better than before. Thanks for asking. Working a lot. Cool. Um, Marissa, hey, thank you so much. Um, Adam, I clean you. Adam, oh my goodness, I clean you pad. Goodness, Carson was so mad. Oh man, this guy at the where was that, Aladdin's castle? He took Carson's shirt, his like spare shirt, and he said like I clean you pad, and then he just started wiping the pad with his shirt and got it all like messed up. And I think it was too because Dev Knoll played in those boot, not the boots, the dress shoes, and he would have the shoe polish all over the arrows. So it came with like streaks on his shirt. He was pretty mad. He was less chill at that time. Good memories. Um, Adventure Bonnie, I would love to see you shave your beard to make you gorgeous. Okay. I have had years of beardlessness. You did FNAF juggling videos. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Like no one knew about it. It's thanks YouTube. And YouTube put me on their YouTube gaming Twitter channel, and they had a clip of it where I was juggling, and it was right at the edge where Foxy started to jump, and the 6 a.m. Grandfather clock sound occurred, and I'm like, oh, good. So anyway, that was a pretty good clip, but unfortunately, I responded to them too. I'm like, well, now I just need to get out of algo purgatory. Like no response. All right, I get it. I get it. Misty, happy birthday! Thank you so much. You beat 1020 mode in December 2025. Great. And there are a lot of new strategies like the minus strategies, which are really cool. Let me like the I clean you pad. There you go. If you see any likes on your comments, I mean, if it's not some annoying comment or some confrontational, like unfairly controversial comment, I'll usually just like it. I rarely just hit the heart unless if I do that once, if someone goes above and beyond, sometimes I do that. And some videos I was doing that pretty systematically, but I usually just like it. So that's pretty much a habit. I don't know if if YouTube like flagged me for liking too many things, but I'm generally pretty positive with that. But congratulations, Adventure Bonnie, on completing 1020. The minus strategies make it. I think I mentioned on one of my videos, like it would be cool if someone found a way to stall Toy Bonnie and maybe even the others or something like that. And I kind of had that thing in mind, but people actually found a way to do it, which is impressive. So I like that about the skill community here. They seek out ways to do it. Sometimes they do have the decompile, so I'm not working with the latest decompiles on, especially not the new stuff. I actually don't have copies of a lot of the newest stuff, which makes it a little bit tougher to discern what is absolutely legit and not. But it's one of those things. I mean, I work with Scott, so I don't want to just, I don't know, maybe I should just ask him for the, I'll just ask him for the MFAs or something. He probably would just send it my way, but then I have to extra secure my computer now that you know this, like hack my computer, get the official MFAs. Another thing people have said on Twitter, man, okay, X, some of the comments, I have to shake my head a little bit. If you read some of the latest ones too, like, what did I do? Like, I'm glad you at least hesitated. I mean, come on. I'm putting, like, I work full time. I do ministry on the level of full time. I help Scholastic proof things. And when Johnny Block said that mostly with the Steel Wool stuff, I helped Megacat for years. And Steel Wool and some other, I mean, I was helping with Click Team and may still be. I mean, yeah, there are different seasons where I help out with different things. Scholastic. I mean, if there's anything else, like if anyone has any specific private projects involved too, sometimes I've made exceptions to make time for that too. So anyway, it's one of those things where I have a lot of time dedicated to other things that are important and that I prioritize in life. And if other things happen in life where I have something else creep in, like, oh, well, here's a really cool other thing that God wants me to do, then great. I'd have to put some of the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff in the background. And I should say also, like, if Inside Editions had anything to send my way, then cool. If well, who else? I mean, there were some other groups that had projects that did not go through as well. But I mean, that's the nature of that's the nature of business, really. And some things are going to be better products than others, and all that type of thing. So, and like groups that you haven't heard of before is what I'm getting at. So it's like they had prototypes and stuff like that, but there's always stuff going on. Scott is always active and doing certain things, but he does get occupied sometimes. And this is nothing new. Like with Steel Wool and Security Breach, of course. I think that's probably the worst of all scenarios with everything going on and the pandemic and all that. And I guess him not seeing my email saying, "Hey, if you want help with Security Breach, let me know." And then just no one got that email. I did help with Ruin. And that was pretty cool. But someone said like he thinks I think so the person thought that DJ Sturf was just like getting things wrong more often than not. And I'm like, really? Like I don't know. I mean, I've had a pretty good track record. Ruin, I found a ton of bugs, and near release, like I'm brought in basically as user acceptance testing. I don't get all the hints on the lore, and then someone else is like, well, DJ Sturf might not know as much as he thinks. If it's a lore thing, I'm like, send it over to Scott. Like if this is what he wants, then let's go for it. But someone made some comment on some site saying that you can't make an impact unless you're some random guy who thinks he's a god at gaming. It's like I've never. So anyway, like I work and I try to get my skills up. Cool. I would have an issue with the whole naming and stuff like that. Like I would not call myself a god of gaming or anything like that. It's like, there's one Lord God, creator of heaven and earth. And so it's like, and I try to point to Jesus. Like, cool. But Scott has me as basically a gameplay consultant, and he wants me to check whether the gameplay is fun and is coherent, and also to check for bugs, especially. Like, make sure this is a really good experience, because he cares a lot about the presentation. And I think y'all know that by now, but yeah. So it's just one of those things. Like, I was brought in, and if it doesn't pass my check, then things have to be reconsidered. Like for Ruin, they were about like, I was like 4 weeks away, and I was like, man, there's so many issues that I'm finding at this stage, and so the decision was, well, let's make it really good. So like, he cares about quality. I think that's maybe a mistake that people make. They don't think that he really cares. He's not just throwing stuff out there, I guess. Or like what developers throwing stuff over the wall would be. Maybe like at work, there was one employee who would send me stuff that wouldn't even compile. Like he was throwing it over and hoping that I would just fix it. Like, what is going on? Like if I hit F5, it doesn't work. Like there's a syntax error here. Like at NC State, that would be a 0. If you turn it in and it doesn't compile, that is a 0. And a lot of people, like in C, if you type in, int21 instead of int21h, oh boy, they're gonna have to do a refresh on that box. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Maybe if you let's see. I think the 4 digits at the end is YouTube's default for handles if someone didn't pick one themselves. Thanks for that makes sense. Yeah. COD Zombies games. Okay, that's intra conversation. What's up, John? FNAF, I'm finally getting to your comment. Happy birthday, DJ. Thank you so much. I don't feel like a geezer, but at the same time, I have this lingering plantar fasciitis. It sucks. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Chair on the SMX pads is a vibe. Yeah, and I have the color test enabled, so I have it at like 2/3 brightness on the red, green, blue, all equal. So it's kind of, it's supposed to be like a gray, I guess, and it kind of does look grayish. It looks too bright if I have it all. It almost looks like a freezer. And I could turn it like a ice blue, and I would look like I was in a freezer. I clean you pad, bro. Hey, Corey, thank you so much. Yeah, have a good rest whenever you see this comment. And let's see. What is your favorite OG FNAF game? I really liked Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but can I say Freddy in Space too? Because that had a good purpose too. Like that, it went out for, um, that went out for St. Jude's charity stream. Um, Plastino 2, happy birthday, DJ. PX, happy birthday, bro. Thank you. Happy birthday, Sturf. Much blessings. It's so good to see you. Thanks, Kamoshi. Wistful Sum, another heart. Okay, cool. DJ Hypnotic, happy birthday. Thank you. Ghosty, happy birthday. April Fool's Day. Yeah, April Cool's Day. Brother, imagine telling someone with a learning disability they're dumb. Yeah, I know. And so, yeah. And family can be harsh at times. I mean, people can be harsh at times anyway. But who do I think will win the NBA championship? Man, I never want to guess against LeBron, really. But I mean, like they're doing really well. San Antonio looks so strong, but I'm not sure they have the experience quite yet. Detroit looks really good, same thing. But I hope Cade Cunningham recovers fully from that collapsed lung, the pneumothorax. Man, he's had such a great season. I was hoping that he'd be a pretty good candidate for MVP. I really like I like Cunningham quite a bit. Charlotte got on a hot streak, but they're just so far down. They're very much underdogs still. OKC still looks really strong. I think OKC is probably my default guess. Dark horse would be Los Angeles and then San Antonio. I think it's coming out of the West, but I mean, I could be wrong. Boston also looks really good now. And Tatum's back, and he had a really good game. So I'm glad to see that as well. Super Rocker, thank you. I see the $9.99. Let me rush through the comments here. DJ, why did you quit FNAF? Why did I quit FNAF? I'm doing so many things behind the scene with FNAF. A lot of graphic novels. So I mean, I guess it did actually release early, right? It wasn't supposed to, but there was supposed to be some, what does it call it, an embargo? Like you're not supposed to actually put it on the shelves until an agreed upon date, but some of the places still did. So I've always anticipated like 2 weeks early, but I think it was maybe within a week of the expected release this time. So at least progress, I guess. But I think it's a pretty good graphic novel. And I haven't really looked to see the feedback. So if you put your feedback on what you think about this new graphic novel or what you see about it, then just let me know. I think it was really good. One of the biggest things with graphic novels is the dialogue bubbles often get mixed up. And also the story veers from the intent of the actual short story initial. Sometimes there are, I mean, it's not my call on a lot of stuff, but I try to make sure that things are consistent with who's saying what and finding spelling and grammar errors wherever there's a leak there. So I don't know. I try to put an extra time to make these things really, really good. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to spot absolutely everything. So I'm hoping I found everything. But at the same time, it's the same thing with the games. Like I might miss something because I'm human. And usually there are QA teams to handle all these type of things. And there are. So these things do happen. And sometimes I do put in edits or I do put in a bunch of tables and not everything gets put in. Like for the Ultimate Guide 2.0, a lot of people think that it was an absolute disaster, but I would still disagree with you. With the things that did get in, look at the first 4 chapters especially. And the thing is, a lot of my edits did get put in the first 4 chapters. And then after that point, like, it became a degrading, like, hey, we've put in too much stuff almost at this point. And so the interest went lower, and we had a lot to work through. And so a lot of the changes that I had weren't put in. And sometimes some of the edits that I do put in that are agreed upon, like, hey, we're going to put this in, sometimes those are missed too. And I can attribute that to, okay, well people miss these things. But unfortunately, not all of my rounds of edits got put in. But I could get blamed for some things that I didn't have anything to do with as well. But c'est la vie. I don't know. Just know that I'm trying my best. Why did I quit FNAF? I'm doing so much in the background. Happy birthday, my good sir. Thanks, Frogger. Returning the favor from the happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much for the happy birthday. The GOAT, Just Human Things. Thank you. The GOAT Fire. He is the GOAT for FNAF and dance games. I'm pretty decent. The dumb nicknames are always the ones that stick. Yeah. They're the ones that make you laugh. Some people think that my name originated from Dutch, and that would mean DJ Die, but that's not the etymology. Like if you have a name in one language and people try to say it means this in another language. It's like that's not the initial intent of what it was supposed to mean. So it's not DJ die. And you could say DJ, now I'm dancing and juggling. So DJ, happy birthday. Thanks, Antonio. Thanks, FNAF Game Player. Hey, I tried to, if you look at FNAF, I think in chapter, the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 chapter, I tried to put in some little allusions, ALLUSIONS. So like references to specific strategies and people who are behind them. And I think that the Freddy Game Player thing got in. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you'd have to check. I don't have an actual physical copy. I still only have a digital. And I'm not sure it's even the latest version. Like I don't know. I didn't get sent any copies of this, even though I have author credit on it. Anyway, like also know that like the editor at Scholastic really wants to do a good job. And like he isn't trying to short circuit things. I think he does get too busy sometimes, and that becomes the enemy of producing perfection. So people want the very best, and we're trying, but I try to understand that people are human. Happy birthday, Sturf. Thanks, KJM King. KP Senti, hey, thank you. Happy birthday. Yeah, for birthday greeting. And yeah, I'm live now. 2 live crew. Now I'm Adam. I am not 67. I'm not 6'7". Mr. Dangeresque. Tai T so good. Yeah, I know. Crazy. GP has some issues, yes. DDR has issues in general, yeah. Maybe with distribution in the US. Oh, man. You dip out after the futuristic stuff started getting spammed? BO3, what? I think that's to someone else. What else? Someone thought there was drama between me and J-Top hated me, I think was the tweet, and he had like some picture. So no, like J-Top has been completely cool, but it's like a professional relationship. Like I helped out with Steel Wool, but I'm brought in. I'm not hired by Steel Wool. Scott contracts me out to do certain things to help out when Steel Wool has like late game things to test and to check and to make sure the gameplay is good and that it's not like buggy as mess. So J-Top has been he's been cordial. The one thing, May 7th he mentioned that my name was finally going to be put in the credits, and that's really the only change that I know about. And I tried to clarify that, I think on GG, I think on on his status, on Gerard's status, but that's the way it is. I checked back up in November and there's like no response. I'm like, okay, I think he just has, he's not checking it. But and I know they went through downsizing, which I thought was very sad. We had a round of layoffs. I've survived, I think, 15 rounds of layoffs at my current company, and it's just always, I guess it's a blessing to keep going, but it's definitely sad to see a lot of people go. We had a big department before, really like 2017, I think about 200 people, and now we're probably like 20, like 18, 20. So it's, I don't know. We're a tight-knit crew, but I try to keep in touch with as many people as possible, like post. So, and if it makes sense for me to actually write a reference or something like that, then that's cool too. But what is I don't know. Juggle Boy 360. Juggle Boy 360. We're like 359. I honestly don't know how you fit so much into your schedule. Funny thing is, and maybe I worded it awkwardly, but I've always prayed for God to multiply my time. And one thing is, like, if I put it on my to-do list, then I usually budget out the time to do all of that. If I put in more time to make videos, I would have more videos. Some of this is, though, I can't reveal a lot of stuff that goes on. Like, I'm not gonna tell you, like, oh, hey, we got this crazy thing. So maybe another thing as well. So when Leon was using the Forgotten Names and Faces, I thought, oh, we're going with that now for Five Nights at Freddy's. So I was planning on making some Five Nights at Freddy's videos, and I'm like, okay, well, let me use this, or as an acronym. Okay, I'm planning to make more FNAF videos, and that was the intent of it. And I come back like months later, and it's like Willy Walkmests or something like that. I'm like, what is this? And so I don't know. So anyway, I'm not trying to trick people. Let's see. All right, people are talking about all sorts of zombies maps. Nat Spray, thank you so much. Happy birthday, Sturf. Hugely appreciate your work. You're a legend. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, hey, GG, I just mentioned you. Happy birthday. Thank you. Uh, maybe your ex is going to get a little more attention if we read back that comment, but um, I think it just got missed. At the same time, I mean, I worked on Help Wanted 2. It's just it kind of stinks not to have my name in the credits. And I've talked to John before about like it's kind of like, man, like it's a little gesture. Mega Cat made a lot of provision. Like they were messing around with different titles. They're like, well, what title do you want? And so they were like, yeah, they made it a big priority, put me up there and all that. I was like, okay, cool. Well, anyway, it's one of those things. Like I don't have any beef with Steel Wool. I've enjoyed, like I've had positive experiences working with everyone from there, and then the sub studios as well, or the contracted studios. There's been no drama, and I'm just, yeah. Uh, what else? Juggle Boy, more Juggle Boy. Oh yeah, Juggle Boy's been running. He's been taking my running miles. Like I ran a 3.2 today, but it really hurt. It really hurt. I don't know if it's a bone spur in addition to the plantar fasciitis. It could be the fat pad atrophy, but it's only on one side, so it's definitely plantar. I don't know if it's also got a heel spur. I probably should just get an X-ray. That's probably what I'll do. I'll see if I can get an X-ray. I'll figure out if it's like some sharp bone spur. Can't believe you're the guy from the wall in the FNAF movie. Yeah, that who was it, Chet, or what was the guy's name who like crowbarred the glass in front of our pictures? I'm like, dang, that's what you think? That's how it really is? That's what we're doing now? Oh man. Um, yeah, you can comment about what is it, COD zombies? I don't even know. I don't even know. Adam, thanks for the $1. Oh yeah, let me like these. There you go, Mr. Dangeresque. Thank you for the $1. Do I have schematics for? Okay, I think that's a sub conversation. Ticket. Are you talking about Ticket to Fun? Okay, I don't know. Ticket to Fun, I thought was actually a really underrated little collection. Like I thought it was really cool. I thought I thought that was a fun little collector's item there. It's pretty cool, I think. Never forget we made Kyle Ward put Blood Rush in Step Maniacs. We did. We actually did. Happy birthday, Sturf. Thanks, Oren. I forgot about your birthday streams. How old are you now? I'm 43. Isn't that crazy? Juggle Boy, we need iDestroyer.gifs. So I would have to reboot the Step Maniacs cabinet to get that to run. Yeah, it's gonna light up regular right now. But iDestroyer, it's basically cyan and pink alternating neon colors in an animated GIF format, but it shows up on here and it's so bright. It's like I have to close my eyes. I would not want it on this stream. I don't want to, like, if people have epilepsy, I wouldn't want to cause any issues. Goodness. Bright flashing lights warning. Wistful Sum. Oh, you're good. Oh, Secret of the Mimic 100% walkthrough, Cameron. I do need to do some walkthroughs at some point. I have to figure out a good time to do it. I need to get ahead on a few papers. I really need to officiate this wedding first. That's probably the thing. I do want to do that. Adam, what are you talking about? The reflex? What? No. My favorite completely on sync DDR song. I mean, Do You Remember Me is pretty darn good. That one's like really, really close. LeBarn James. Fusion, my favorite Scott era game will always be Sister Location. I love how each night is different instead of the same but harder. It's an interesting experiment. I thought that was more of a filmmaking project, like a narrative experience. But the thing is, the replay value on it, until Custom Night was pretty cool, but the replay value on the main game was just, it fell off so fast for me. And that's my opinion on it. Like, I can't go back and be like, oh, well, this is a brand new thing. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know kind of the gist of the games. Like, all right, cool, I can do this again. But do I want to do? I don't know. The Ender Night was fun. Um, but who was it? Grime Knight gave me. He gave me a version of Sister Location that just went straight to the Ennard, or there was like a link to the Ennard fight directly. That was cool, but um, not an exact official, but it was just a direct port from the code. Happy birthday, DJ. Also, happy April Fools Day. Thank you so much. Super Rocker. Check out Super Rocker's YouTube channel. He always has some fun streams going on. So, um, happy birthday. Thanks, Lurid Codex. Happy birthday, DJ. I hope you're having a good birthday. Yeah, it's been cool. I'd say the birthday itself is more of a catch-up day for people to catch up with you. And then tomorrow I've taken off, and I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm just gonna do some fun things, and maybe I'll have some people over or something like that. But that'll be kind of my day for the birthday plus one, the birthday plus plus. um, Man, isn't corporate wild right now? So we went from 0% AI allowance to 60% AI requirement this year. That's wild to me. Just so aggressive. Lots of Claude. Bacon Mayo Man, 1916. You're great at bug finding. It's weird to see them pop up. Yeah. And a lot of the times, like, there are different rounds of fixes. And so if something is reported, it doesn't always get fixed right away, or it gets pushed off, or it's prioritized. And so you take the higher priority, like a critical or high level severity, or you have different levels. If it's like a medium or a low, and then it's going to wait in the backlog for a while. It may never be gotten to. That's unfortunate. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things about coding life. Craverino, is that it? I love you, Sturf. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I see you. Be a little different there. Thank you. What are the titles of the latest novels? If you look up, it's the one with the mimic. It's the one with the mimic. That one's out like in some bookstores now, but there were some I guess leaked pages, but it's like it's already technically out, but it should have been out the next week. I think that was it. Shout out Scholastic Book Fair. They do a lot of series. They do a lot of work. Like the editor that I work with works with a lot of stuff. So anyway, lots of stuff to do, I guess. Ty Rizzle, happy birthday, DJ. Yeah, it was a good day. DDRA, we didn't get anything past, I think, what was it, A20 or A20 plus or something. And I kind of felt dumped by DDR, so I stepped away from DDR for a while. Yeah, we had a lot of yearly rounds of layoffs, but also there was an acquisition that went really sour. And so we had a big layoff then, and then COVID hit, and COVID was a huge layoff too. Man, it was crazy. Name on credits is great. Oh, I'm almost caught up with the chat. Sweet. A name on credits is great, and to be honest, a huge gesture. Yeah. And I mean, I can honestly say that I worked on Help Wanted 2 and like all these other things, but I don't know, it's one of those things too, like I don't know, it depends on what route I go. Like, I mean, I could put the book proofing and that type of stuff as experience, because there was one of my ministry friends had a book that I just basically proofed. I proofed the entire thing for him. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, here you go. He just sent it my way. He's like, hey, can you proof this? I'm like, I guess. So I did. And it was cool. I was able to offer some really good feedback to tie everything together. So I thought it was cool. It was fulfilling, but it also drains me quite a bit, because that's not the prime thing that I'm geared to do. I would rather write than proof, really. But and you haven't really seen much of DJ Sturf original. Like, I write poetry, and I write very like lengthy poems, and I mean, if you have foxy nursery rhymes, which I've mentioned before, in jest, but at the same time, like, man, I could do it. It's just one of those things. Like, that would be kind of cool, but I've never gotten traction with that. I think Scott it was a goofball idea, probably. But I guess I'm not one of the like cool kids, because I'm not at the premieres, but he's always like sending me stuff to do. He's got a little bit of a backlog. He'll know what I'm talking about. He's got a little bit of a backlog with me. So the reflex is like really, it's late. on Extreme. Me Chimp, happy birthday, DJ Sturf. Thank you. I find it fascinating. I'm so behind. I never knew about all this FNAF stuff and don't know anything of FNAF. Fascinating. Yeah, it's a really, man. It's become so complex with so many branches. Like, it's amazing what Five Nights at Freddy's has eventually branched into. I guess that's kind of the thing. But yeah, I agree, Juggle Boy. Cold Hard Jard. All right, the legend has returned. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, doing well. Just need to get rid of this plantar fasciitis. Let's see. Do I have a website of my work? Okay, let me get to this other comment. Yvette, the Festive Princess. Happy birthday, DJ Sturf. I used to watch your Dungeon Defenders videos back in the day. Glad to see you're still making stuff. Yeah, Dundef. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since I played that too. I went through a little season where I came back to it, and that was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing that and kind of maxing out some of the scores on some of the maps. But I have a video like do you know ASEN? ASEN is in charge of the community development team, the CDT, for Dungeon Defenders, and they're still making content. But I think the thing is, he knew about what I did to get the high score by a lot on Deeper Well. Like, I found a bug that basically doubles the points that I can possibly get. So like 240,000, 250,000 is like where you would normally get for a highest value for points in that map. But I found a way to get like 400 and something, 470, I think, something like that. It was way up there, but it was, yeah, I had the high score for a while. But he talked to me about it, and like on voice chat, we used to play some maps together. I like some of the main mods. I like Mischief and ASEN and Keen and Kilt and I. So we'd be playing these random maps. But he was like, well, I don't know that I can really keep that up there because, I mean, this was an exploit, and we're probably going to get rid of it. So, like, I get that. And so I did redo some of that, some of the scoring on that. And I think it should have been number one, but then people have the hacked scores on top, like 999999999, like obvious, like, what are you doing? You just, you submitted a packet that just said max 99999. All right, cool. But that's not the legitimate score that you're going to get. So anyway, I redid that, but I understand why he took it down, because basically you can spawn ogres from certain presents with the jester, and so you get 8,000 points anytime you spawned an ogre and took down that ogre. But the wave would end if you killed them too fast. So what you would do is you run the Wheel of Fortuna and turn all enemies gold. And that gives these ogres some buggy, ridiculous value of health. And then you have this one gold ogre that you avoid, and he's almost invincible, but the wave times out. So you're spawning ogres for all that time, and since that gold enemy is still there, it doesn't run through the actual wave. So it doesn't finish the wave until it times out. So I have all this time in the world. Like, my time was ridiculous in terms of how long it was. I think it was something like, it was like a 2.5 minute map usually, and I was spending 40 minutes spawning and slaying these present generated ogres to get this ridiculous high score. But I didn't want to do that a whole lot because it does take a lot of time, and that's like 40 minutes. It's ridiculous. But do I have a website of my work? If you go to djsturf.net, I don't have that updated with absolutely everything, and I don't really have that on my resume. I haven't applied to anything. I've had this job for just about 13 years now, and I'm talking about my day job in healthcare tech. So I do that, and then, man, we're AIing everything, which is insane. Insane with like insane. Insane. Name on credits, allow people to add your Wikipedia, IMDb, or whatever pages to be officially added with sources. I guess there's a Wikitubia, right? Is that right? Wikitubia. And the thing is, people get some of the details pretty accurate. Not everything is absolutely accurate on that page, but they do cover some of this stuff, and they cover a lot of what some of the involvements with maybe the graphic novels. Like it just says special thanks mentioned, but I mean, it just left us. It was left as special thanks for a very long time. It almost became like a kind of like an inside joke, like, oh, I'll just be the special thanks guy. But I'm over there like, oh, there's a grammar error. Oh, here's the story error. So I think they put me as, what was that? Story consultant or something. It's something like that. But just making sure that the details are at least consistent. And sometimes there are exceptions. And in certain things, like I don't choose the lore, so I'm like, hey, here's the gameplay feedback, here are the bugs, and sometimes I do see like here's a major inconsistency, and so I throw it back to the lore master, and then he makes a final decision on what needs to be done. So anyway, and I'm really not spoiling anything. I'm hoping you're not reading too much into it. I'm just trying to be pretty matter of fact here, but I'm just hoping this doesn't go like 50 different interpretations of what I'm trying to say very directly. But anyway, people are going to be like, oh, he made this on April Fool's Day, so he can't be serious about anything. But anyway, I can mention what I was involved in and what I wasn't involved in. But on some level, too, it's like some things we'll let play out whatever is decided to be played out. And I think it'll be interesting. And that's really all I know. So, DJ Sturf, how are you? Doing well? Okay. KP, yeah, sure. Feel free. Yvette, find out how fascinating, like good you get at almost every game you play. Still to this day, I've only ever gotten to level 78 on my Apprentice and Dundef. A lot of that was survival farming, but also I'm really good at figuring out economies. And I got in pretty early with the cube economy. And that was a big way that I found these matching sets where people, like, I'm hoping these are legit, right? So I created the commish is what I went by for a while. And I created the armor calculator and I sent that off to Trendy. And so Trendy had me testing their stuff too. That may be some hidden lore as well. I tested Winter Wonderland, Silent Night, Jester, the EV, no, not the Jester, the EV Assault, EV Assault, is that right? Yeah, the EV Assault, that's right. But I tested that with the execs and the developers, and they wanted me involved in other stuff too, and so I helped them with some other stuff too, some things which didn't actually go through. I don't know, like, is that NDA'd? I don't know, but you can probably find it online. I'm sure details about what I'm thinking about are out there for sure, but it canceled a long time ago. Goodness. So anyway, but I mean they were fine to work with. Maybe the complaint is they offered my friend a position, but they didn't really follow through with a guarantee on length of employment, or like I guess, like, I mean they just kind of left it as, yeah, we want you here, but at the same time they didn't have somewhere for him to stay, even though they kind of hinted at, oh, we have some places for people to stay, and they were going to pay him bare minimum. And for him to move to a different state, like it wasn't going to work out. I just thought that wasn't really a fair provision, especially when he could work online and he was doing a good job online. So, and then there are other things about the company that came out too that I thought were terrible. So anyway, you can look all that stuff up if you want to dig into that rabbit hole or jump into that rabbit hole. I don't know. So crazy. Just realized how funny it was that you were born on April Fool's Day. Ahmed, thank you so much. Happy birthday. Yep. I don't know. It's one of those things where I try to keep a Colossians 3:23 mentality. So whatever you do it heartily as unto the Lord and not as unto men. And so working with all your might. But I'm also smart about what I invest in and what I invest my time in. And so I'm not picking games that I'm going to be like terrible at. But if I really invest the time to get things, if I invest time to get good at things that I'm interested in, and there's that overlap, and then even better if people want to watch that, and then I can be like, okay, cool. You know, someone needs a guide for this, or someone wants to watch me play through this on a high level. You know, it all works out. But I don't tend to stick with things that I'm not really interested in or interested in getting really, really good at. Maybe some of that is kind of an obsessive type of obsessive type of personality. So like with this, like my PhD coursework right now, I got a 4.0, and I think what was it? My my average grade is either like a 99.9 or a 100.0. We do get a bonus point if we file early for an agreement to take the course and all that or whatever. I don't know if you can't get that point either, but um, it's out of 1,010, and a lot of these classes I'm like 1,006, 1,010, 1,010. I'm like, cool. So I'm a very good writer, and that's one thing that like people have mentioned. On, like if you go to Cross Allegiance, you can see some of my sermon poems. But I'm a very good writer, and it's one of those things too where I haven't had full like all of my writing is out here for you to enjoy. It's more of, hey, let me proof this part. Let me send you this table. For like Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I think I had something like 8 different tables or something in that range that I sent in, and they chose one, I think just one, and they had some corrections for some other stuff. Like Five Nights at Freddy's 2, they had some errors, and so I sent in corrections for that. And a lot of these things got in there. I thought the first 4 chapters were really, really primo. That's my view on it, and a lot of my work got in those. So, and that it's progress. There's a lot of stuff that was majorly improved with that, but I think it's just kind of it got short circuited by, but you know the deal. I felt like my work got pooped on. That's an honest opinion. I thought my work got pooped on, and then people suggesting that I didn't really send anything in when I was spending hours 3 and 4 in the morning to send this stuff in, and I'm like, I could be sleeping now, or I could be trying to help this all be. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating, but c'est la vie. Trendy, yeah. Trendy is now Chromatic Games, so that's what they renamed themselves. Happy birthday, Unk! And thanks Secret, thanks the Goat 109. Yeah, I was valedictorian of my graduating classes. I graduated with 2 different degrees in undergrad, and so I was valedictorian twice. I finished with a dual focus MDiv, so Master of Divinity, so in pastoral care and pastoral leadership. And I'm working on a Christian leadership PhD right now. I'm about halfway through it. Is that right? Yeah, I'm about halfway through. But I'm expecting to finish like spring '08. I would defend my dissertation at earliest, and hopefully spring '08. I could move it to summer '08, but I don't know. I was taking 2 courses per quarter, which was nuts. Don't do that, please. Take 1. Hi, Mr. Sturf. Happy birthday. Do you still find new games to get into these days? I haven't played a whole lot of. Stuff. Every now and then I'll load up NBA 2K26 and play a little bit. That's kind of fun with multiplayer. I try to get either a quadruple double or a quintuple double when I play those. We do 8-minute quarters. I guess if we bumped it to 12, it would take a little bit longer, but I get a quintuple double every game, unless I foul out. But the annoying thing with NBA 2K26 is if you foul out in that multiplayer mode, then it ends the game. It ends the game. Like, if you are teammates, we have, like, multiple people on the same team. We join up online, but now if you foul out, like, the game ends. And we had a friend who, and Adam knows who I'm talking about, he would foul an average of about 15 times a game, and he would go through multiple players, like 6 and you're out. But he would foul out 2, 3, and I think he even fouled out 4 players one game. So anyway, he was jamming that steal button. I tell you what, and it's not very friendly with that on 2K. But now it ends your game. So if if we play with him, we're probably going to play through 1 quarter, and then the game will end, and that's it. But anyway, we try to tone back the fouls. Yeah, the final outcome is only considered, but at the same time, it's short-circuited because there was one attraction in what I'm thinking about, and people focused on that, and that was it. And then I was like, I put in so much stuff, and a lot of stuff of mine got in, and it just all got ignored. And then comments like, "But we all know how that went," and I'm like, man, did you even read the first 4 chapters, or did you read the updated character descriptions or whatever? I mean, there were so many things that were corrected. But anyway, not everything got out perfectly, for sure. So yeah, and I guess that's gonna be the mark on it. I guess that's how it's gonna be labeled. Agent, thank you so much. Happy birthday, goat. Thank you. I don't know why everyone calls me a goat. I mean, I'm like a human being or something. I don't even know. All we like sheep have gone astray. Every man has gone to his own way. Oh, what is it? But the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Like from Isaiah 53. I was thinking of lines that rhyme naturally in translations, but I'm trying to finish up this creation, new creation sermon poem and send it off to be considered for like voiceover and music and maybe scenes of nature and all that. And so that would be really cool. I'll let you know if that actually goes through. I had a very favorable response to the people that I met. From the people that I met, sorry. So that was cool. Yeah, Adam, you remember? Yeah. Yeah, he'd foul them, and he's like, "Got that, boy." It's like, what? Like, what? You just foul him, and like, so any like he would not get the rebound, and then he'd just slap him. Like, come on, dude. So a lot of that would be a take foul nowadays, like a take transition foul. That would be a nightmare. They get one shot every time that happens, and the ball. Are there any personal works of yours out there in terms of books or even short stories? If not, are you considering doing any? I do want to put together an anthology of the sermon poems that I've written. Those I think would be really cool to have out in published form. And the way that I would maybe like to do it, and I'm toying around with the format, but if I did this as an ebook, and then you start out, like I charge very, very minimal, and then like as time goes on, like I might raise it a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to get out there. And then if I publish it, then I have the credit and like, all right, cool. So let's make this formalized and copyrighted, copywritten. So yeah, but that would probably be the first thing that I do. I've edited some, I've proofed some. I guess the thing is the main thing that I do with the graphic novels is consulting and making sure that there's consistency. So like a story consistency type thing. And if there are mistakes, just let me know as well. It's just I miss some things sometimes, and sometimes the edits don't get in, or there's a big deadline. There's a print deadline, and then edits are pending, and they don't get in by the print. Like how there is a previous version of the drawings on this graphic novel that got printed. I didn't know that those are like how did those get out? There must have been some miscommunication, but those could be like rare collectibles at some point, but. I don't know. I don't make the decisions on the artist. Mr. Dangerous. No, that's oh my goodness. Sturf secretly runs a Christian furry Discord server. His persona is a goat. Nah. That's funny though. Agent. Yeah, I know. Goat means greatest of all time. LOL, you're a legend. Thanks. I always like buying people's work. Who knows? I might get into it a lot. I had a friend who really got some massive success with Pokemon cards, like graded Pokemon cards, and he's paid off all sorts of stuff. I'm like, awesome! Like he caught a major break, and that was cool. I tried the GameStop Power Packs for a little bit, and I sold a good amount of what I had, and at a gain. But I still have a bunch that's like a bunch of backlog that I still have in my inventory, and a lot of them you'll get packs like you pay a bunch for a pack, and you get a card that like I got a PSA 1 in the top level tier packs, and I guess it was just like a really rare card, but now it was PSA 1. Like I don't. Did someone like did a toddler bite it for an hour? Like I like he just like there are 500 bite marks on this card. I don't know. That's wild, crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, yes, I'd be down to buy it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oren, Sturf, I love your Cross Allegiance videos, by the way. I have a lot left to go. I have a lot left in the tank. I just set up the teleprompter. I have a teleprompter XL, so that can help a lot with that. The biggest problem that I have with recording videos is a lot of times I make videos and it takes forever for me to get one out because I want it to be perfect and have absolutely everything just right. And for the Cross Allegiance videos, I would have this obsession about doing everything in one single take. And it's just, I don't need to do that, but a lot of these were just one take. Like when I eventually got them out, they were one take, and I wanted to, like, part of it may have been practice, but with a teleprompter, I did one for one of my friends' podcasts, and it took me 10 minutes. It was like 9 minutes and 23 seconds. What was it? 9 minutes and something. 9 minutes and change. And it took like 10 minutes to record because I did it in one go. And I just read it. And I was like, oh, I'm looking at the camera and like all this stuff. I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, great. So, I mean, this is probably going to be revolutionary. I can be so much more productive and not be debilitated in my perfectionism. That's a lot of times. Sometimes the best is the enemy of the good. Sometimes the good is the enemy of the best. But a lot of times the best is the enemy of the good. And you have to discern what what needs to get out there. I cleaned you card. PSA 1, you had shoe polish all over it. Shoe polish streaks. Hopefully it wasn't a brown shoe. I heard teleprompters are amazing. Yes. It was the Corsair Teleprompter XL. And it does require a USB 3.2, USB-C 3.2. But I have that on this PC, and I have it on all the newer PCs. I built two new Threadripper builds. One's a 7970X and one's a 9970X. And I have two 12K camcorders. Like, I've been making moves and improving what I have for quality, but I haven't been recording videos that incorporate that quality. Like, I'm using this 4K 60 camcorder, which is the Panasonic HC-X1000. It's a great camcorder, and it's hooked up to my Elgato Camlink Pro, which is a 4x 1080p 60. So I'm not even running 4K 60 right now. It can do 4K 30, but I'm running 10K 60 on it right now. But I have the capability of, with a Blackmagic capture card, I have the SDI 12G. So I can capture up to 8K 60 with that card. And I can record, I can stream. I can also do color grading. I have DaVinci Resolve. So I have everything set up. I have a Shure SM7B that's set up with the, what is the mixer that I have? Oh boy. I'm forgetting the mixer name right now, but it's pretty cool. I have something that I can also bring out to the mall if I need to. It's portable enough that if I need to run a mixer with multiple mics, I can do that, or control the sound from the board itself if I need to. I try not to get too involved with so much production because I really need to be speaking and preaching. But when I do help with production and all that, it's usually a big step up in quality. So as long as I remember, like, I'm so careless with audio in my own videos, where, remember that I had one stream with, I think, FNAF VR, where I didn't even have audio for the first like 50 minutes. And then people were messaging me ridiculously on Steam. They're like adding me, and I'm like, why are all these people adding me as friends? I'm like, who is this? Like, why are all these people adding me? And they were trying to tell me, hey, there's no audio. But I had my VR glasses on, and I don't even know. So I need to be careful about checking what I have in advance, so I don't have regrettable things and wasted time like that. But it was funny looking back on it. It's just, I don't know. I'm super careful with other people's stuff, but sometimes I want to get stuff out there, and I neglect my own self, which that's a problem. You might have gear acquisition syndrome. Yeah, Sweetwater Sound is very nice to me, I suppose, but they have cashback sometimes. Like I'm using Capital One Shopping, not the bank, but the Capital One Shopping. They have this cashback stuff, and Sweetwater Sound had like a 40% cashback. That was crazy. So I loaded up, and then there was I think there was another like 20%. Anytime they have a major cashback, that's the time when I look. I'm like, oh, okay, what are some deals? What can I get? So I'm happy with what I have. Narrow Raven, thank you so much. Hey, hope you're doing well. Happy birthday, DJ. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, it's been good. Why the news has been using it for decades, and politicians. I mean, it's not a formal like stand and all that, but it's the same principle. Like, it's beam splitter glass, and then you have the teleprompter. You can run whatever applications you want, or run the Corsair / Elgato software. I lost a lot of money on Corsair. I'm usually a really, really good investor. Man, there were a few investments that are like really that went really sour, but I've had enough really good investments to make up for them. Fortunately, a lot of learning experiences, I suppose, but Corsair stock, goodness. When the CEO comes out early with a report saying, "Hey, we missed expectations," and then the stock tanks, I went out to run and I bought a bunch of shares of Corsair stock, CRSR. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but I mean, it's at like $5 something a share, but it could go lower with all the stuff they've done. Goodness, but I love their products. Like I love Elgato. I love the reliability of their drives. Their SSDs were phenomenal. No failures of Corsair drives when we worked with a Russian orphanage and we were providing them SSDs. Probably another hidden lore. We used to host, like right where I'm at, we used to host a Russian ballet troupe here. And this was spaced out. We had like dividers, and then you got a bathroom over there. This is entire like a finished floor. The initial builder of this house had a daughter and a family, and he wanted her to have her own space and for them to grow there. So he basically wrote, he built he built this entire floor as a place, as a livable place. There's a kitchen. I don't know. There's good electrical stuff here. The minus is his stud placements were not standard. So every now, like if you're trying to find a stud in a wall, it's like you got to guess. You use a stud finder, of course, but it's like some are 16 inches, some are 12, some are 18. I think there was one that was like 21. It's like, what did you do? So anyway, it was a custom builder, custom house, and we got it for super cheap. And I mean, this area went buck wild with everything around us is hoity-toity, and we're out here with this. Was it like a ranch style house or something like that? But we're in over our heads compared to everyone else. Like everyone else is like, how much money do you have? And they're doing all these crazy. They tear down how they'll buy the house and the land, and they'll tear down the house and then build their dream mansion on it. It's like, what did you build? So anyway, it's crazy. We were fortunate with that. That was my dad's best investment for sure. Hi, Sturf. I hope your birthday was awesome. Thanks, Medley. I have pretty bad insomnia, but your videos have always helped me sleep. Hey, thank you. Your voice is so soothing to me. Yeah, cool. I'm glad those have helped. And hopefully my voice isn't annoying like this. Maybe I just start talking like that. And then I change over to nightmare fuel. No, not really. But I don't know. God's given me a lot of peace in life, so I hope that carries through. I've started streams without audio before a few times. Yeah. Yep. Vanilla, LaBelle, happy birthday. Thank you. This makes me want to upgrade my mixer. I still rock for analog style mixer, Behringer or whatever for a decade, and I don't even stream nowadays. Mid-Atlantic Gamer, what? What was the what about? I don't even know. Oh, Chica voice, Chica voice jump scare. Yep. Not enough stereotypical YouTuber voice. Yeah, with jump scares, like jump scares, they're more like, it's more annoying to me that I lost than I got jump scared, and it's kind of insult to injury when I hear the loud volume. Like Five Nights at Freddy's 4, if I lose a round of that, I'm just more annoyed, and it's like an annoying level of volume, and I'm just more mad about that than I am scared about any sort of jump scare. So I don't know. Usually when crisis hits, I'm very good at keeping a level head, so I guess that's a plus. Oh, the Russian lore thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so the funny thing is, I would go. This was when I was in middle school, and I would go and tell my friends, we have 11 or 12 Russian ballerinas living in our basement. I think it was 11. We have 11 Russian ballerinas living in my basement, and they were like, "What?" It was just like, that's the most random junk. Like, what are you talking about? And then one of my friends, Richard, came over, and then we brought him downstairs, and I'm like, all right, you don't believe me? Look. And then, and they're all greeting him, and they're so nice. So yeah, it was, it was great. Oh man. I learned a little bit of Russian from it. So if I say Dobry dien, it's not the right time of day. I would say Spokojnej noche. But like if you meet someone, you're like, Orchin privyatna, you're like, pleased to meet you. And Pожалуйста, please. Spasiba would be thank you. So like yeah, just basic Russian, but I mean they spoke pretty good English too. So yeah, just a good experience overall. Tez, hey, hope you're doing well. Happy birth, Sturf. Hope you're having a good one. Thank you. You've been juggling lately? I need to pick up. I need to try 8. I need to juggle 8, and then I need to at least try juggling. I am kind of fighting through this plantar fasciitis, but I need to get my runs in for virtual. So I think it was like, what about the Russian thing? Yeah. First time hearing about your cross allegiance ministry. Is that non-denominational? Is it inspired by certain branches of faith? Yeah, it's non-denominational. I mean, it's Christian. So it's primarily evangelistic, but a lot of times it manifests in a pastoral type way. So, like, for example, I ran a house church for almost 5 years. So we had that, and then that turned into the prayer ministry that we have. And then that turned into a ministry team that did a lot of the online outreach. Our Facebook went crazy, and I think it was 2024. But we reached, it was a cumulative reach. I'm not going by hits. Hits is less reliable, I guess, but going through each day, seeing how many people we reached, we had a cumulative daily reach of 30 million. It was like 30 point whatever million that year, which was crazy. And minimal budget. So my budget for most of these posts was $1 per day for like maybe a week or 10 days. And, just saw where it went, but it turned into a lot of, like, we just had, we like, people were praying for like 50 people a pop for some of these weeks. And there was just a lot of stuff, and it was cool. But then it's one of those things where it's kind of on freeze right now. And I tend to go in seasons with it. And so people mistake me from like abandoning it, but I have different missions for different times. So right now, like, I need to focus on the PhD. And if the Lord gives me a green light to keep going with Cross Allegiance for another season, then great. Like, I'm hoping to do that. But we also have that Wednesday night Bible study that meets at the mall, and Sunday communion services. We have our regulars and all that. But like, that could be, and I want to turn this into like a Saturday afternoon get together where we could just, pioneer a new online ministry, and that would be really cool. So have a team behind it, especially, and that could be a learning experience and a time of growth for those people as well. So, and hopefully a positive experience. But Cross Allegiance, yeah, I'm ordained with the Evangelical Church Alliance, which is not it's not a denomination, but it's a non-denominational ordaining committee where you had to have 8 years of ministry experience to be considered for ordination. Then they had an exam, and then they had a panel where you had to answer doctrinal stuff in person. I'm really good at that in person too. So, they just ask questions, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Well, verse, and they're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. So, anyway, I'm speaking at the ECA convention, or the conference, the international conference this year. So I should say it's more like a performing and speaking thing, but I'm trying to be like, okay, well, let me perform during one segment, and then let's have I can do a sermon poem as even an extra thing, at no extra cost, especially. And the thing is, like, I'm fine. I don't need money for ministry. So it's like, whatever, like, the Lord knows how I'm going to spend the money. It's just, I'm not going to go out to, what's a stupid place to spend your money? Like, look, I'm not going to spend $700 on Balenciaga shoes, like whatever the heck they're doing. Yeah, there's a blessing of being bivocational, so working a full-time job, and I have all these side gigs too, and all these things play together, so I can do ministry for free, and it's not a burden to people. I'm not one of these televangelists like, sow your seed of faith, friend. Hey, friend, you got a treasure inside of you. Do you receive it? I know you do. And it's like, okay, well, enjoy your time on your private jet. I'm scrounging together some money, but I'm trying to impact people positively. Like, hey, you got any prayer needs? I'd love to pray for you. If you want to hear about Jesus, I would love to tell you about Jesus, salvation through him, and forgiveness of sins. Like, I mean, all this stuff. Like, it's pretty cool. Blow it all on hats. Yeah. A good one, Jugs. Oh my goodness. Like, Jeremy, what was that? Jeremy always cites this movie. Like, this guy saved up his life savings and gave it to this lady. It was like $10,000. And this lady's like, oh, I won the lottery, but now that you gave me $10,000, I guess I'll just blow it all on hats. I don't know what movie that's from, but Jeremy always cites that. So, Sturf the Baptist. Yeah, I mean, y'all, if you are believers and you want to be water baptized, I mean, it's going to be warm out. So if you're ever in the North Carolina area, just let me know. I can baptize you. I baptized Adam. If Adam's still here, he had a swimming pool at his apartment complex, and so yeah, we did that there. That was cool. Am I getting another religious degree? I'm finishing up a Christian leadership. I should say I'm halfway through. I got to write the dissertation. Basically, is the big thing, and I'm not too worried about that because I can write. Um, I can write a lot, and I write a lot of good stuff, not just fluff. So hopefully this will be a really cool study. Um, yeah, what's up, Adam? Yeah, you're not as old as I am, though. Oh wow, didn't know you were fairly local, North Georgia here. Yeah. Um, yeah. If you're like, I mean, the Augusta, I'm like 7 hours from. No, that's not right. I'm 6 hours from Augusta. I think is. Am I thinking right? I think I'm thinking right. I went over to Waleska for one trip, and that was like about six hours 45. And then I've been to Douglasville, and that was like 7 hours 30 maybe. So that gives a general time frame. Am I like 45? No, I'm 43. Not quite 45. Oh man. DJ Sturkolnikov. There we go. Russian edition, yeah. Um, how many do I have now? I'm not just collecting degrees, but this is one thing where, like, sometimes the Lord puts something in front of you, and you just have to discern that. But it was pretty clear. Like I just had a PhD on my heart for not really like I didn't need the letters, but I was talking with Jared about, well, maybe I'll at some point go for that, and maybe even from a perspective of completion, um, but like praying at the start of one day, I really kind of felt like, okay, I need to search out, well, what PhD options are there, and first thing I see when I load up Chrome is, oh look, there's this program here, and this basically digital outreach, Christian leadership, like ministry, like pastoral evangelistic type of context stuff, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And the registration deadline was, I think, that day. And so I was like praying, like, Lord, do you want me to do this? And so I definitely felt like this was the right thing to do. So it's one of those things that I don't know the full purpose of this yet. Once I get the PhD, I'm not expecting to really go back and do something else unless I go back and, if there's one like sharpening class or something, I might take something like lifelong learning that can be useful. But oh, true. Yeah, you used to live in Douglasville. That's an interesting area. It's Dr. Sterling, is it all online submissions? Yes. So there are no required in-person courses, though I was on campus to meet some specific people. Um, Y'all know Ray Comfort. I met him via video call via someone who was the associate of someone that I met there on campus at the convocation. You could probably piece it together. With the new creation poem. I think you know what I'm getting at. Like it'd be cool to have that as a presentation at a specific thing. You can fill that in, find the secret lore. It's not related to Five Nights at Freddy's. There's no hidden code. It's pretty cool how things just kind of landed perfectly. Yeah. Um, and it was wild. So at Trinity for my MDiv, they didn't ground their routers well at all. And so we had an instance where everyone who had wired Ethernet connections to their laptops, a lot of them just got fried because there was a lightning storm and the routers weren't grounded. And they kept splitting and splitting and splitting. Like they had router to router to router to router all across campus. And like there were some ridiculously cartoonishly slow connection speeds. And the IT department knew about the ministry that I had online, and they wouldn't give me, like, there was some specific external port that they were blocking that we could go through as well to get like really fast internet that was shared between those people who had those permissions. But they just kind of dawdled on that. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. The churches that I serve at, I'll just use the internet there. But man, the computer labs were horrible and they were so slow. And goodness, but our, like, my HP laptop got fried, and like I lost a lot of data from late semesters because of that, and we didn't have cloud backups back then. Someone commented on my post about that because I needed to submit a good recent, like not recent, but a good uh, representative sample of my writing from seminary, and I had some stuff, but like it was a Greek exegesis notebook of First Peter 5, and I was like, I don't know that they want Greek exegesis because that's a lot of parsing and a lot of, hey, this specific Greek term means this, and then discussion of that. So it's like piecemeal, as opposed to this flowing document. And so I wanted to send in something like that, but I didn't have access to something like that past my, I think, first or second semester, because all of that stuff got fried. But someone commented on my post about it, and they're like, well, you should have done a cloud back, or like call the Geek Squad or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me do that. Adam was gonna make a comment on that one, and I think I talked about it. Like, just be kind to this guy. Like, okay, let's be understanding. But anyway, wild stuff. Kimberly, thank you. Happy birthday. Oh boy. Yeah, I have some super old poetry on the old blogs, like your 25th birthday prayer poem. Yeah. Is that Lord let me serve you? I wrote Lord let me serve you when I was 18, and that was one that I used at my baptism. But what else? I mean, I have some of the sermon poems I have as videos on Cross Allegiance. But what I'll probably do is I'll take the more recent ones, and then I'll make I'll do those on the teleprompter, and I'll be able to make a more professional presentation of that. That would be kind of cool. And if I were really professional, maybe I get some kind of backdrop here, like just even like a cloth, and just drape it back, and then you wouldn't see the bars. You notice I'm not using bar right now. No bar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the real players though are juggling with bar on DDR and Step Maniacs. Like, juggling with bar, that's the future. No, what I really want to do, and this is going to sound comical, but I would like to make a run at ministry on TikTok or something like that, and do juggling with dance games of some sort while preaching an evangelistic message, just like a brief, like, gospel invitation, and that would be cool. But I want to get a perfect score while doing it. It's just so hard. Like, it's so hard to focus on all that stuff. Oh man. Yeah. One was definitely prayer for a wife, relatable. Okay, I'm missing the context. Let's see. Are you talking about like things lining up? Not the Geek Squad. Yeah, I know. The comment was, it was a little out of pocket. It was crazy. Happy birthday, Goat. The man secret code 3241. Thank you so much. So YouTube really just puts 4 digits after the screen names now, huh? Interesting. Victor, that's really motivating to hear about your pursuit of the PhD. What's the official name of the study for your degree? So it's Christian leadership in the field of digital discipleship. And I guess the thing is, like, there was a direct pastoral leadership type one, like a church ministries one, but like I already have degrees and experience in that, and I'm like, okay, well, I do a lot of online outreach, and this is the thing that it really stood out. There aren't programs like this at any other place that I can find, and you can find out where I'm getting the degree at very quickly. Yeah. Seal 1113. DJ Sturf, I love you so much. I hope you're okay. My friends love you too. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. I was going to do like a show and tell type video, but I was going to have some Thai iced tea, but I didn't bring that. But Chicagoland popcorn, if you're ever in Chicago, this stuff is really good. This is cinnamon toast crunch flavored popcorn. It's really good. But you have to order like $100 of stuff to get free shipping. So unless you're in Chicago, I don't know. That's a little much. That's a lot of popcorn. If you order $100 of it, that would be crazy. And then they have these trading cards. And this I have some interesting feelings on. Like, I think the way they presented this was interesting. Like, these are called Sacred Legacy trading cards. So the back of them is just Sacred Legacy. This is one of the default cards, but yeah, this is the agony of the garden. And so the hour draws near. But basically it's a art depiction, and I guess they have an art director, but it is AI inspired. The art is pretty consistent amongst the frames, but some people may have issues with AI. And the thing is, too, different groups have been shifting on their view of AI based on what framework and their stances on certain things and usage availability. Like Adobe has Firefly, Claude is huge. I mean, even the government has been using, if I'm not mistaken, Anthropic stuff. So I mean, that's part of that's Claude. But we were thrown into the world of AI at work just abruptly, like from 0 to 60% requirement. It's just wild. But anyway, it's a pretty interesting trading card series. So that was going to be my show and tell. But I don't know. They have these secret rares which have like stained glass type, cool holographic. Like it's pretty cool looking. But we'll see where that actually goes. But I took some money and invested some in the GameStop Power Packs, and then I took some of the profits from that. And I'm like, well, let me just buy some packs of this collection and just see some cool stuff. So I don't even know. It could be a cool collection to show people. Just like, hey, here's a walkthrough of the life and ministry of Jesus, and some cool looking cards too, like foils and holographics and all that. It's really cool. Have I ever been on any global missions trips? I've preached on Zoom to multiple countries where it may be hard to reach, but I haven't been on any global like in-person missions trips. I guess the thing is like I've done a lot of stuff online, and maybe part of it too is I mean, I don't have an updated passport, so I probably need to get that in check. But I haven't traveled a whole lot outside of like Pulse Outreach and stateside missions trips. Like I've been on a lot of stuff like that. Or if I'm asked to speak at various churches, and I think it's interesting that you get a lot more yeses if you are either in seminary or taking a PhD. And so there's almost like an open door from that. Like you're studying to do this, but after you're done and you have the degree, like it's more of a closed door. So a lot of these opportunities dry up, which is interesting. I love your shirt. Super cool. Yeah. Psalm 23 all over. I have a dress shirt that I had made, and they actually just make product kind of like this, but they make products like this now. But I had basically a lot of sayings of Jesus, and then I have Romans 10:9, which Romans 10:9 is if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. And like this evangelistic verse in the midst of all these quotes from Jesus, and but it's my dress shirt, and so I wear that a lot of times at the mall when I'm preaching on Sundays for those services. So yeah, and at the mall, yeah, it's a store in the mall allows us to have services there, so it's pretty fun. Yeah, I want the holographic super rare Jesus driving out the money changers. Like, yeah, give me the PSA 10 uh, parable of the talents. Uh, oh my goodness. Like Tag does grading for this now, so they actually do grading for that series. PSA I don't think has yet, but it very well could happen. Ender's Bread, thank you. Happy birthday, Mr. DJ Sturf. Thank you. Clayration James. Clayration James. Happy birthday, DJ. Thank you. Super Luigi. Okay, I've gotten that one. And then Kimberly, I got that one. All right, cool. I'm caught. I have your soul. Happy birthday, code. That name. Um, Thank you for the happy birthday. There's a song on Step Maniacs called Goat. I don't think I've even played a single chart from that. Maybe I played like a beginner or something like that with Goat, but I need to play that. It's only a 22. Actually, no, have a sad birthday. I don't like you. April Fools. Oh man, sad birthday. Dang. Dang. All sorts of audio clipping on that one too. I saw that one. With radio, we were trained to be mainly in the yellow, and it's tolerable to have a little bit of red, but you don't want it all the way up for sure. You would have clipping and all that type of stuff. Degrades audio, of course. Mateorios. I probably messed that up like crazy. Sturf, happy birthday. Thank you. Hey, CIT, thank you so much. God bless. Happy birthday. Thank you. You're mentioning AI a bit, and I was curious How do you think AI is going to affect computer science jobs in the future? As that is my planned career path, and you have some experience, if I recall. Yeah, I've been at this company for 13 years. I've survived, I think it's 15 layoffs. It may actually be a few more than that, but um, yeah. So I'm at the top of the tech tier, and they were talking about creating. They've talked for a few years about creating a specific, like, new. We're going to make up a title just so you have another tier to go to. Because I've been at this top tier for 9 years, 8, 9 years, which is it's fine. They keep giving me money increases, but they can't give me a promo or whatever unless I switch over back to management. I did management for a while after my manager passed away back in 2015, and it went really well. But I had QA duties still, and I was automating my test cases. And automation is different from AI. Like automating, you're creating code that runs multiple times. Like you do that in functional test phase, and then you have regression suite and then UAT suite, and you can often run that multiple times and then throw it into your your continuous integration suite, your CI suite. So it runs basically whenever you want or automatically or whatever. It gives you a report when it's done. Cool. We're all set. But AI is definitely a big change. We went from 0% allowance last year to 60% requirement this year. I made a metrics engine and a test case. Well, no, hold on. So I made a metrics engine called Smart Metrics, Sterling's metrics automation runtime tool, Smart. And then I made with one of my developer friends, we put together this really beast test case automation engine, and it's really cool. You can plug in all sorts of like anything from SQL to PowerShell to Python to C to C#, whatever you want, and we can make a module for it, and it would throw that in. We can do I guess like we can throw in UI tests. Those are by nature more flaky. But anyway, we made a whole bunch of stuff. We automated the deployments of all of our products and on the team, and we had like suites for it. So you type in a number of the test case suite in Microsoft Test Manager, and there you go. It's just running. Great. So anytime you needed to upgrade to the newest version, instead of having to log into 20 different VMs or 40, what it became, logging into 40 different VMs to install stuff, you just type in one number and then it runs all the subsuites, and then it deploys all the instances. Huge time saver. And my Smart Metrics engine made over 1 million metric sets. So instead of me having to go through and finding metrics and reporting on it and sending it out to everyone, this thing did it automatically and logged it. And so for audits, these were labeled as best practices. So I had all of these award-winning frameworks, and I won. Like there was a departmental, it's called the Circle of Excellence Award, and so it's like for the most impactful employee. And I mean, I won that. I think it was just once, maybe it was twice, but I won a lot of innovation awards, like Innovator of the Year, and I feel like Edwin Murray in that case. Like I'm doing all these inventive things, but now I was told, hey, we're now on the AI train, and we want you to redo your frameworks in AI. And I'm like, why? Like I can build extra things with it, but you want to replace human creativity and human work. I feel like that even eliminates part of the dignity of what I've done. And it's crazy to me. So, and it's one thing, what Ender is saying, and even if you're passionate, a backup plan would be a smart move. I mean, that's one thing I would recommend, because with Claude Code, I worked from scratch to create this test case management system, not just an automation, but it's a test case management and automation framework. And I give it the specs, and it creates a mock version of it until I push it. And then you're like, oh, you got to spend money to really develop this out. So it's a little gimmicky from what I see. But a lot of what I've been doing is speed running code that hopefully works, and fortunately I can go through the code and find where Claude made mistakes, because sometimes it'll throw you a UI that doesn't even run. Like you just get a white screen, it's like, oh, invalid token at, and then you got to click, oh yeah, can you fix this? Like and then it searches, and sometimes it truncates the output, and you got to split files time and time again. You have arbitrary naming if it goes on its own whims. It's not trained. It's not where it needs to be. But what I will say is when I look at Revelation and I look at the end times and how things could play out. You could have AI who's trained to do certain things, and some good AI, some bad AI, some AI that informs people and really helps society, some AI that misinforms or has an agenda behind it, and that thing can really shape society in, in all sorts of ways, whether good or bad, good or evil. And I could see the events of Revelation happening with basically the equivalent of Babel that we've built. And so it's going to replace a lot of human jobs. And what we do with that is going to be really important, because we have to have work for people to do. A lot of people lose their purpose in life when they lose their roles in work. And so when you use AI to replace humans as opposed to supplement it and human work, that's where it gets to, like with my frameworks. I feel like my dignity is just like it's trodden down on the beaten path now, because you decided you wanted AI over me. And while AI might be able to build something faster, but may not even work right, I mean, like I submitted years of code and I had no returns. Like I was I took pride in my work. I had code that was just flawless, and it was great. I could have built more on top of it, yes, but it's like I really wanted my stuff to work. But Claude throws you code that may or may not work, and it's like, oh, here's a blah, like here's this big chunk of 3,000 lines of code, and yet 7 of them just don't make any sense at all, and you gotta kind of figure that out. So I'm spending a lot of time revising, but we need to replace what we we need to replace the replacement that we're doing with meaningful roles that will give people purpose. And really, like, your job shouldn't be your sole purpose, but a lot of people do equate their purpose with what they do and their role, and that's how they define themselves. That's how you meet people at business meetings and networking meetings. What do? Like, what is your role? Like, I'm a principal software engineer. Okay, great. All right, cool. But if you lose that job, then you're not a principal software engineer anymore. So if you're too wrapped up in that, that can cause depression. Suicides can go up. Like, people lose hope. They lose purpose. And work is meant to be, like, biblically speaking, work is meant to be a gift from God for us to do meaningful things here. And so we need work for people to do. And if we replace as much as possible with AI, especially in computer science, I just feel that it stinks. So that's my stance on it. I think it can be a very useful tool, but I think it's unfortunate in what it probably will end up doing. However, from a Revelation perspective as well, if you look at Revelation 19, we eventually have the return of Christ. And man, that would be cool. Things will be a lot better with the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And so it's one of those things. I looked at Philippians chapter 2. So Philippians 2 mentions that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And they'll identify the rightful place of who Jesus is. But we want to be on the willing side. Like, we want to see who Jesus is and be redeemed. Like what Psalm 32 verse 1 says, blessed is the man whose sins are forgiven and whose transgressions are covered. And so if we have Jesus, it's a matter of, are we going to be judged at the great white throne in the end, or are we going to be at the judgment seat of Christ and be shown mercy because of the forgiveness of Christ? So faith is the big thing, and believing in Jesus. So whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life, like John 3:16 says. So very important. Anyway, that's a little mini sermon, I guess, with AI. But it would be wise to supplement computer science with something else. But some people say that, like, you could do trade work like plumbing and all that. But people can create robots and gadgets that can also replace some functionality of people. Are we going to have fully automated toilets one day? I don't know. Do we want that? I don't know. But there's always interesting things going on in society that affects what was seen as stable even just years prior. So computer science was, when I was in college, yeah, that was a field to be in. Either CE or EE, like electrical engineering, but especially computer engineering or computer science, either one. But they're great fields. I think we're still gonna have computing for sure, It's just, are we going to be creators in this process? Or are we going to be facilitators who just basically open the subway doors for AI to do whatever work, like to rush in, rush out, whatever. So, ah, we need to celebrate being people, and that's, I think, what it's going to come down to. So we'll see what legislation comes out too. I know there's a move to regulate or limit the expansion of AI work centers. So yeah, we'll see. Happy birthday, DJ Sturf. Absolute legend in the FNAF community. Thanks, Vanish. Any more? I'll most likely double major in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, yeah, that's a good field. The thing is, man, like, what can machines not do? Watch there be a rebellion that rises up, or there be like EMPs, and then all the computers that we know are just gone. Like, you pour salt water all over all the computers, and it's like everything short circuits. Like with Five Nights at Freddy's, I never knew why you weren't given a salt water gun. Like, just you fill the water gun with salt water and spray it on Freddy. Oh, threat gone. Don't have to worry about Freddy anymore. Oh man. But that would have made too much sense, I suppose. Oh boy. What else is there though? I think that's... Oh, hold on. Hey, little guy. I should probably not be as nice. That's a spider, but let's make sure he doesn't bite my leg. Itsy bitsy spider. Kimberly, thank you so much for the $4.99. Happy birthday. Here's a small gift for you. Thanks for always showing us the love of God. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Very off topic, but I have been practicing FNAF games for a 24-hour all FNAF game marathon stream I'm going to do. And I have really been relying on your videos for Freddy in Space 2, so thanks. Yeah, Freddy in Space 2 is kind of cool. It's underrated. What is not overrated, I think, is Fury's Rage. Like, Fury's Rage could have used a lot more polish. Scott wanted to get that game out for the community. Like, he really wanted people to play something and have fun. But he gave me the game. I think it was, I tested it and gave him feedback, so I gave him one round of feedback. And it was like early morning at that point, so I went to sleep, and I was like, hey, I'll get you more feedback tomorrow. Well, he uploaded it and released it at like 8 or 9 a.m. the next day, so I woke up and was like, it's already out. Like, what's going on? So anyway, crazy. But I think Fury's Rage could have used a lot more work, especially the VR sisters. Like, there's a hitbox, complete awful hitbox, like Guilty Gear style. Like, why is this register? Oh man. When do I think? When do you think you'll do another Pilgrim's Progress playthrough? I've actually thought about doing that. That would be kind of cool. But if I went like really detailed into what's going on with the dialogue, and I did that some with the first playthrough, but I could go a lot more in depth. But I don't know. It's just a matter of free time, and I need to get over the feeling of YouTube algo. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, if I started another channel that's dedicated to a certain thing, I could follow the algo, and I'm sure I'd do fine. But I would have to do that. It's one thing where I have a variety of videos that I want to put out just because I like making those videos. And it's like, do I care enough to spam a certain style of video and neglect the things that I want to post? Should I have made another channel? Probably. But at the same time, like, do I regret uploading what I did? I'm like, no. Like, I upload the stuff that I want, but I know that not everyone in the audience is going to like absolutely every video. So it's just one of those things. Happy birthday. Thanks. Missing no leader. Yeah. Missing number. Little, what is it? Twitch plays Pokemon, right? Thank you. Do you ever plan to return to UCN? The stuff people have done in the game has gotten crazy. Maybe at some point. Like, I could definitely increase the power remaining. But I have to have the time for it. I think maybe after I finish the PhD, but that, I mean that's a little ways away. I would have more time, but I need to put stuff on my to-do list if I'm going to accomplish it. I will say though, when I was mentioning the forgotten names and faces, like I do have Five Nights at Freddy's videos that I have planned. I need time to do it. And when you see them, I'm hoping you get notification because I think they're going to be really impressive once I have them done. And I think they're good. I think they'll be really cool. Like I think they'll be really, really cool. And maybe people just won't get notification, and so I'll have 139,000 subs because I'm leaking like 130 subs per month now. And I'm like, all right, that stinks. But I'm not exactly putting out brand new content on the regular at this point. So I get it. Happy birthday, man. I hope you're having a good night, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I guess at this point, like it's still in Central Time, it would still be my birthday. So I was in Chicago for a few years, so maybe that counts. Honorary Central Time Zone former resident. Do you have a favorite FNAF game? Overall, you know, I really liked Help Wanted. I really liked the first few playthroughs of Secret of the Mimic. It's one of those things where you play it so much that you almost like you love the game, but you played it so much that it's now like it's hard to go back to. That's something that I deal with some of these games, and it's the same thing with Into the Pit. Like it's a great game and it's well put together. They could have had me test the feedback form. That's the one thing where I was like, do you want me to test this? Like, I really should probably test this. And they're like, no, we got this. Like, we just added this form, but I didn't test it. And that's the thing that Markiplier opened up first and it like bugged the mess out. Or I think it crashed his game or something. But that's something I didn't test. And I saw it. I'm like, we were so close. But anyway, Mega Cat was great to work with. I hope they work on future things. And I really liked working with them. They did a lot of digging into the books and really wanted to get things really, really well done. And they went through so many different iterations of the game. If I get permission from Scott to show some of the previous versions, that would be kind of cool, but I would have to get permission from him to do that. I think that would be a cool little behind-the-scenes type of thing, but they went through so much to get Into the Pit done. But I played it so much that, like, when I think about it now, I'm like, I kind of got to get in a different frame of mind. Like, I got to go through and relive the memories of testing it, but I think probably the smart thing to do in the future is I should make a walkthrough right when the game comes out, but I need not to watch people playing through it immediately. I need to record, and then once I'm done with that, I can go on like John's stream and be like, hey, you're running into an issue, or like Fiznom had an issue with the save file, and that was more of a philosophical game save and save point thing. But I was like, I get it. I get the issue. I get the issue. And so like I can fix that really quick for you. So send it over my way. I help Creek Craft with that too, and so it's cool stuff. But anyway, I try to help where I can, if I have time available. 40% green one was where I stopped for UCN because beyond that, it involves letting the puppet out. Yeah, I'm glad people took that route and people explored what can be done with it. So that is really cool. Hey, DJ, nice to see you. DDL, thank you. Happy birthday. I did a funny April Fool's completion as a personal thing. I beat 4920 without Funtime Chica. Without Funtime Chica. Okay. So you could have picked anyone, I guess, right? But yeah, Funtime Chica. You just... Oh man, no flashing, I guess, in your face. The lights from those flash, like the flash bulbs, they're a little bit of a pain to me. Happy birthday, thanks Sunil. Soda Pup, hey DJ, happy birthday. God bless you for your awesome videos and the way they motivate me to improve myself and talents. Cool. It's like develop your gifts and talents. You could watch that one on Cross Allegiance. That's one of the most viewed Cross Allegiance videos. That one's pretty cool. But I guess like with AI, if AI can be an aid and a tool that can be used but not replace people, or if you use it to mock things up and then send it off to humans to actually do, that would be, I think, a better like ethical use of absolutely everything involved. But it can create some funny stuff. I guess I should say OpenAI. OpenAI is shutting down Sora on April 26th. And so those video generations, however good or bad they may be, some are awful. Let's see what to do. But that's shutting down. So another moderator just handled this. But, it's Charlie. Happy birthday, DJ Sturf. I've learned a lot over the years from your videos. Thank you. Sunil, what to do with the dark BB? She's flash stepping left and right. How to beat her? Let's see. What game are you talking? What? Huh? I'm missing you on that one. If you mention what game, maybe I piece that together. Victor, you mentioned AI replacing jobs and things machines can't do. I wonder about the medical field, especially considering the lives at stake. Radiology has been discussed, for example. The thing is, so surgery robots can be used for very precise incisions, and you can do some pretty incredible stuff with that. If it can save lives, there's at least some ethical use there for sure. And if people can operate that, that's cool. Man, it goes into so many fields. Let me know your thoughts on that. I know this can be a hot topic for some people too, or an inflammatory topic. Freddie Bonnie, I'm here about an hour late to wish you a happy birthday. Thank you. Oh, Ultimate Custom Night. Oh, XOR. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, XOR. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. XOR brings in the 6 animatronics that you don't have on the main list, but you can bring in with XOR at level 10. So, yeah, you get the hidden ones there. It's just part of 50/20, or you get a random chance to have that happen during any sort of night. There's a random that happens as well. Happy birthday. Been watching some of your Desolate Room stuff. Fun to see others enjoying the coffee games. You always do a great job. Looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. Thank you. Mechanical legs with AI or hands with AI will be cool. It'll be, man, we're talking like Brave New World. Shout out to Huxley, I guess. So, man, if we can improve lives, great. If it's going to jeopardize lives, if it's going to be the means by which people look to as a solution for absolutely everything, and it replaces everything we need to be focusing on as people, then that's a danger. If it's going to misinform us, if it's going to try to trick us into something, if it starts a revolution and tries to get rid of the people, then I mean we're basically watching what like Will Smith movie, like which one are we watching now? Like oh my goodness, was it just called AI, I think? But anyway, Allen Iverson, shout out to Allen Iverson, excellent ball handler. Favorite Bible verse? That's a good question. You're not going to ask me how the Ultimate Guide went? I thought it went better. Well, I've already discussed this, but look at the first 4 chapters. A lot of my stuff got in there. I would say a lot of the tables that I sent in weren't thrown in, and I can understand why, but it was a lot of information. But favorite Bible verse? I'm just razzing you. Favorite Bible verse? I mean, it's probably going to be Romans 10:9, just because it's so evangelistic. So if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. And so there's a lot wrapped up in that. So if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord, so you confess with your mouth, that's a public identification. You confess that Jesus is Lord. You're saying, hey, you're in control of my life. Like, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow your teachings. Jesus said, if you love me, you'll obey my commandments. So you're doing things out of love for him because of his ultimate sacrifice for you and for us. So Jesus died for his sin, for the sins of the world. So there's that. And then acknowledgement of him as master of your life. And then, and you confess with your mouth, and then believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead. So believe in your heart. That's like biblical speak for the very core of your beliefs. Like every fiber of your being believes. It's the seat of belief in you, the heart. What's the heart behind this? What's the the intent, the core motives, the inner inner being, like the very core, all that. So that you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, and God raising Jesus from the dead, that as Peter says in Acts chapter 2, that the grave could not hold him. Jesus was not guilty of sin. He lived a sinless life. And so you have, and that, like, all of this, you have to accept by faith. Like, so the evidence of things not seen, the substance of things hoped for, Hebrews 11:1. But this, it's based on, like, Paul was basing this on eyewitness accounts. Like, if you don't believe us, we have 500 others who have seen him resurrected. And so, like, this was like, hey, don't, it's not like a source, trust me, bro. It's, hey, we've seen this, and, like, here's the evidence. And they lived their lives with fervor and not like shying away from being martyred for their faith. So all these apostles went through these gruesome deaths because they believed in Jesus even to the end. And they tried to boil the apostle the apostle boil the apostle John in oil, boiling oil, and it didn't work. Like, it didn't kill him. So they exiled him off to the Isle of Patmos, which, you know, he had Revelation to write, I guess, is the big thing. But anyway, but God's showing his approval. So the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. And so Jesus being, dying for our sins in our place, this was a substitutionary sacrifice. So Old Testament, you'd have a lamb who would die for your sins. And, like, this would be a temporary thing, so you'd have the sacrifices at the temple. But you had in the New Testament, as John the Baptist calls Jesus, the Lamb of God who takes on the sin of the world. That Jesus took on that sin for us once and for all, as Hebrews 9 talks about. Hebrews is a great book on this, about the substitutionary sacrifice. And so once and for all, we put our faith in Jesus. We accept his sacrifice already done for us. When he said it is finished, he meant it is finished. Like, he conquered the power of Satan. And so it's like, okay, cool. So greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. 1 John 4:4. So a little freestyle here. Freestyle. You know what I'm saying. A little Bible freestyle. But you have the completed work of Christ and God's approval. So God the Father approved of his son's sacrifice, raised him by the power of the Holy Spirit. Jesus was also called the first fruits from the dead, and he is the model for us. And so we believe in Jesus. We're forgiven for our sins, but also after we die, Paul calls that falling asleep. So for a time we will be in wait for our eternal judgment, but we will be resurrected by the same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. So that's a little reason why Romans 10:9 is my favorite verse. It's very direct. It's like, hey, this could be used as a type of creed, and it gets into a lot of a lot of really cool theology. And then if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. And so you'll be saved, like, you are saved from the righteous wrath of God that we deserve for our sin. So we are forgiven by him, and he took on the penalty. 2 Corinthians 5:21 is a good verse on this. It says, he who knew no sin was made sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God in him. And so it's like he takes on our sin. He gives us his cup of righteousness as he takes our cup of sin. And so he took that on for us. And we don't, like, it's one thing, like, we should do, and we, like, it's, if we love Jesus, we're going to keep his commandments. We're still going to be trudging through life. And like 1 John 1:9, if we confess with our mouth that Jesus, no, what am I saying? If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us of all unrighteousness. That's 1 John 1:9. But it's also surrounded by two verses that say if we say that we're without sin, we make God out we make God out to be a liar, and the truth is not in us. And then the other bookend is we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. So we're going to deal with sin, but he is our advocate and he is willing to forgive when we confess our sins to him. It's just the ideal would be walking in his ways in every way. But we are people, we are fallible, we're in a fallen world, and we're going to be tempted to do all sorts of stuff while we're here. Yeah, I know, like the Old Testament resembles and foreshadows the coming and life of Christ. Yes, 100%. And like in the Old Testament, in the temple service, you had priests doing those animal sacrifices. So the priest would sacrifice the lamb or the turtle dove or the goats, rams, lambs, turtle doves. but whatever animals are there, whether it's a scapegoat or a sacrifice in the temple, like on the altar, whatever it is, we have the substitutionary sacrifice being done by the priests. And who were the people riling up the crowd to say, crucify him? It was the priest of the time. Like, the priest sacrificed the Lamb of God willingly, and they had different motives in this, but God used that. Like, Jesus had 12, but he also had a Judas. And he knew, like, this wasn't a leadership failure. It wasn't like, oh man, well, Jesus picked Judas too. He needed someone who was going to betray him into the hands of these people at just the right time. And a lot of times Jesus was just like, yeah, it's not my time. Like, he had this crowd like putting pressure on him near this cliff edge or whatever, and he's like, walk right through. It's not my time yet. All right, cool. So anyway, we see some of the depictions of that passage, which I find really, really fascinating. But he knew his timing. He stayed prayed up. He was out there early morning, praying, listening for God. And that's the thing too. Like, prayer is not just speaking to God. It's also listening for his voice. So, anyway, maybe some people would think I'm crazy for saying all that, but, that's a little bit of it. So Romans 10:9. If you ever do another playthrough of Pilgrim's Progress, there's an updated version in the Scott Games Discord server. Really? It fixes most of the problems it had. Did Hope Animation do that? Or okay, I'm guessing it's probably a decompile and recompile, right? I had a bunch of keys that I bought from from David Hutter at Hope Animation. Like I bought a bunch of keys of Pilgrim's Progress, and I was gonna do another playthrough and then do a key giveaway. But I mean, if it's just kind of out, I don't know. If it's out there, I don't know. Anyway, it's support for. Like, I thought it was a really cool game. I thought it was really anointed. Like, it was really cool. It got the message across really well, even if the animation was maybe like what Scott, what was it now? What does that YouTuber go by now? But that YouTuber. But the review was that they were like mechanical, horror-looking, animatronic-looking people or whatever. Robotic animations, and then Scott, like, something in me snapped. Like, I'll show you what I can do. Like, oh man, Five Nights at Freddy's. Ah, boy. Fan made, yes, I got you. Yep. We did a deep dive into the overall story of Scripture in one of my Bible classes, and honestly, it was an eye-opener how well everything connects. Yeah, and different prophecies from hundreds of years past, like everything from Isaiah was about 730 years before Christ. And like his birthplace in Micah about 520 years before Christ. There's probably plus or minus in there, but yeah, just a lot of things that put together. It's like he was a living, walking, breathing fulfillment of prophecy. So, man, it'll be cool to have him here. How about that? Agreed. I always like seeing in the Gospels how various prophecies are fulfilled throughout. Yeah. Really powerful when Jesus asks for the cup of the wrath of God to be taken from him, but he still says, not my will, but yours. Yeah, we see the humanity of Christ in that, for sure. Stephanie Sterling. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Stephanie Sterling. Yeah, the review of Pilgrim's Progress. Are you really a DJ? Or you're just naming your YouTube DJ Sturf? So the Christian viewpoint is that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And it's like either we are forgiven, either we're going to have to deal with our own sin, or we're going to have to, or we're going to have our sins dealt with by Jesus. And so one theme in the Old Testament is approaching God, do it in the way that God has provided. And so when Jesus says he is the way, the truth, and the life, no man comes to the Father except through him. It's a serious consideration, and so that's something to be taken seriously for sure. It's like, this is the path that God allowed his son to be sacrificed for us, to be killed in our place, to bring us back to him, to reconcile us back to peace with God. And so it's a serious deal. It's like, do we believe this or not? Do we accept this or not? And yeah, it's an important decision for sure. So, and different people come from different backgrounds, and I know, like, in some circumstances, I hear about people who are in places where they wouldn't normally hear about the gospel, but they're getting dreams at night about, hey, they saw Jesus in a dream. Or or crew goes out with the Bible film, and it shows a run through an acted out crucifixion scene, and but people have dreams of either that scene or the people bringing it, and just really cool things. But and dreams kind of get into this different conversation altogether, where I get a lot of dreams, and I write them down pretty faithfully, and sometimes I see people in my dreams that I've never met before, and then I see them in person. Sometimes I see circumstances where I'm warned, don't do this, and then I wake up and I'm just like, okay, well, my heart's racing, and this was a pretty clear sign that this was something to pay attention to. But anyway, I'm getting into separate things, but just, yeah, where Jesus says that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. And it's a matter of Jesus not coming to the world to condemn the world as his purpose, but that the world through him would be saved. So I don't know. I'm a big Jesus advocate. I love Jesus. I think it's pretty clear who I represent. And Shadow, thank you. Happy birthday. Hope you're doing well. Do I have a favorite non-FNAF Cawthon game? Probably Desolate Hope, but I haven't played a ton of non-FNAF Scott Cawthon games yet. And I mean, like, what, he has Kitty in the crowd, and what, Fart Hotel? There's a game that he made called Fart Hotel. It's like this grid of people, and then someone makes a farting noise, and you gotta decipher by what people are looking at, like who dealt it. It's like, oh man. So Scott made a bunch of really random games too. Gumball V, hey, happy birthday. Thank you. Super Luigi. All right, Adam, have a good night and happy birthday. And we'll talk soon, I'm sure. Me and my friend have started a FNAF podcast on our channels, and maybe sometime in the future it would be cool to get your perspective on things and have you on if we get a little more popular first. And the thing is, like, I gotta make sure that, like, for certain things, like I'm definitely not going to be able to answer a lot of internal questions, and I don't know. I can give you like game mechanics and facts. It's going to depend on my time more than anything, I think. So it's just got a lot of stuff. I got to get ahead on stuff, but I can keep a pretty detailed to-do list, and then just go crazy with that. Desolate Hope rules. Love that one. There was a really good video of the history of Scott games. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was super well done, and Scott commented on it. Cool. Was that yours? It's so cool. And it's the thing, like, I don't have like a quota for how many subs you have to have or something like that. It's just, I don't know. It's going to depend on what time I have. I've done some things with smaller channels and that type of thing before too, but it's just my schedule is just so jam-packed. Happy birthday, God bless. Thanks, Scorch Flame. I gotcha. And not your video. History of Scott's games. Was it animated? I've seen an animated version of one that was pretty interesting, but I mean, this is stuff that I kind of know. But I guess what y'all think of the first and second movies? What do you think of the first and second movies? Because we have a third one that's what was that? I guess Scott's getting extra writers for if all the YouTubers are right. So, guess we'll find out. If he wants me to do a complete movie in poetry form, he knows who to ask. I don't think that's computed yet. Like, I don't think that. No, Scott said he said he was going to watch one of my sermon poems. So I don't know if he's had time to do that or not. But he at least said that he was going to. I'm pretty sure. I'm correct on that. So like he knows I can write. He knows I can write poetry. But if he wants a movie that's completely poetry, he knows who to go to. But I don't think that's his plan. You know, let's make a good script, I guess, instead. So I'll leave that up to Scott and his discretion and whoever he brings along. The FNAF World movie written by DJ Sturf. Oh my goodness. Let DJ Sturf preach in the FNAF 3 movie. Yeah, I mean, there's what in under construction. You have the Reverend, but I could I don't, if he wants a good clear gospel message in it or something, I don't know, but I can't remember the YouTuber's name. Solar Sands, great watch. Solar Sands. Okay. I really enjoyed the movies. Cool. Which one did you like better? Did you like the first one or the second one? We need a DJ Sturf cameo in the FNAF 3 movie. I need to get to cool kid status enough that I'm brought to like a premiere or something. But I'm not to cool kid status yet. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't get an invite for, for that premiere either. I'm like, all right. But I was working on other stuff, I guess. But anyway, no offense taken. This is just... Do you have a favorite short story from Fazbear Frights or Tales from the Pizzaplex? Some of them are really twisted and grisly. Yeah, Clythrophobia. My feedback on that was there's nothing redemptive about this. I would love if there were some follow-up story that could redeem it, like to undo the mangling, or like, goodness, like this kid gets bullied like historically, and then he like Ballora just stretches him through this tube maze. Anyway, yeah, so that's not my favorite. Which one would be my favorite? I'm biased as well because I loved how Submechanophobia looked. That graphic novel, that so well drawn. IMO is just so well drawn. And I think the redo of the Mimic was so well drawn. It's interesting. So if I'm not biased by it, what was like the most redemptive one? Submechanophobia was an interesting story too, though. It gets into an entirely different world with water animatronics and Martin Copper, the villain, the very obvious villain in this whole thing. Oh, surprise! He is the villain at the end, trying to drown. What? Caden? It's like, my goodness. Maybe not my favorite. Haps I kind of laughed at. Kind of like, this is just ridiculous with just a story form, but I'm thinking, like, I'm mixing up Caden, right? Jace and... too much. I was hoping for, like with Nexi, I was hoping for maybe a different resolution. But there's always some twists, but these turn into, like, what is it, campfire stories almost in some of these, but yeah, some of them don't have a redemptive edge. Those ones I'd be like, I hope there's a prologue to it. Or what was I saying? Prologue, epilogue to it. Goodness, I'm just getting tired here. 1:15 a.m. That's probably why. Honestly, those dark endings kind of ward me away from the book sometimes. Yeah, I understand that. Some of those endings are too dark for my squishy self. Understood. And sometimes it gets to be a matter of conscience. Like, if it's not something that you're gonna mesh with, and it's kind of, it's like, okay, that one's not for me. That type of thing. It's understandable for sure. Might affect sales, but do what meshes with what you can handle versus, is it even a worthwhile investment in that case? I don't know. It's up to you to discern. What's the best FNAF game you played? What's the best FNAF game? Huh. It wasn't. I get I get into the apodictic mode where I'm like, okay, it's not this. It's not special delivery. It's not Furious Rage. It's not Security Breach. Wait, hear me out. Let's Sturf play Edwin Murray in the FNAF movies. I'm basically already playing out Edwin in the corporate workplace right now. But at the same time, like, my house isn't getting aftoned. And we aren't creating AI consciousnesses yet and storing them in Like storing them in a Mexis unit. Like what is going on? It's cradle.exe. Um, oh boy, yeah. Sometimes I feel like Edwin at the workplace nowadays. My name is Edwin. I'm starting to think Sturf doesn't like Furious Rage. What's the best FNAF game you've played? I had a lot of fun with FNAF VR, Help Wanted, and I had a lot of fun with Secret of the Mimic. I really had fun playing through Into the Pit, but that's more of like an old school style, shorter experience. But you can speedrun it in various ways, and we did add the speedrun timer, which I think is really cool. So internal, and it does take into account loading times and all that. So man, like there's some good candidates. Fun wise, I would say fun. Looking forward to the weekend. So the fun one, I mean, Freddy in Space 2 reminded me a lot of maybe a slightly stale Jazz Jackrabbit, but it was still really fun, and it was for a good cause. Did I test VR2 for Steel Will? Yes. I should be in the credits. We'll say that much. And it was confirmed that it was going to happen, and I was excited about it. So I was telling John about it, like, hey, they're finally putting in my name in the credits, and it was going to be right after the release of what they were working on. So okay, cool, and then they had downsizing, and then it's like contact just ceases. That's the thing. Like if I work on another project, then maybe things will be resolved or something. But yeah, it's whatever. I worked on it, so that's the bottom line, I guess. A little disappointed though, and I don't know. There's a vote of confidence. Like some people had a vote of confidence in me still, but I'm like some people didn't. They're like they took it as the worst possible thing. I'm like, man, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to lead people on. I was trying to be clear about what I meant. And sometimes and people take that cryptically. There's so many things in the series that are like latent, and sometimes I can say things in code. Like, all right, cool, but not always. Of course, the games are dark too. Of course, they're horror after all, but at least in those, William gets his just desserts in Simulator, and all the kids are freed, so that's a bit balanced out, I guess. Yeah, and you have threads of redemption through it, and I know Scott wants that. I mean, he doesn't want to just make this grotesque horror series and mirroring some of the others that are already out there and that type of thing. But yeah, I always get happy when I see your name in the FNAF credits. Yeah, and when it's not there, it's released and it's not there. I'm like, what? Like looking through, there's such a long credits. Like it's not even there. Oh man. Anyway, it was one of those things too where I was wondering if it was a matter of like I was it was at like the very worst time for me to get my hands on it, but they also wanted me to finish a full playthrough before really giving them full feedback like I did last time. So they wanted me to have a final opinion on it before sending in a bunch of stuff. And I kind of understand that, but it's best if I just log things as I see them. Otherwise I can forget certain things. Like go through 100 things and you only remember 95, you still missed 5 that you experienced, but you didn't log at the time where you're doing things. So I didn't like that process really. Like I've never done things like that, but that's what I was asked to do. But I was out of town on trips, and there was like a family visit, and then there was a ministry trip, and then I was back, and I put a decent amount of time into it, but it wasn't as exhaustive as Ruin for sure. And Secret of the Mimic I put a lot of hours into. And anyway, it's one of those things like, if there are any hard feelings or whatever, like I would want to know. I don't think there are any, but yeah, I don't think so. We've worked on things together, and I think it's they've always been favorable to me helping out, and I'm not charging them, so that's something where I'm not a Steel Wool employee, but I definitely help with a lot of the stuff that Scott sends my way. So that's just kind of the nature of it. But yeah. Like I think we're cool, but I mean, I did see that Glassdoor comment. I'm like, okay, really? Like I like I'm the guy that is supposed to give feedback on the gameplay, and if it doesn't pass my specs, then it doesn't fly. And it's just like that's the creator of the franchise making that decision on that. So that's how it is. So, and that's one thing. You can take that angle, or you could say like, okay, well, what is this guy doing that got him to this spot, and how can I work hard to get to that similar type of spot? And it's like, okay, cool. That's a more, I think, healthy type of approach to it. But and I feel for the people who lost their jobs. Like, I would love to be able to help them with a reference or something like that. It's just, would it really matter? Like, I'm not a big enough name. But I don't know, if I can help in any way with that and I have the time to do it, then, that would be cool. It just doesn't make the most sense, I guess, because I'm not really a big name. I'm not some major like tech company owner who, oh, this person is a great employee, and this work ethic, did great at testing or developing or whatever, and that would be cool. But I don't have my own tech company or whatever. So, do you know all the FNAF lore now? I mean, no, of course not. I'm just thinking. There's certain things that I have to know for certain situations, but it's one of those things that I don't pry, and I'm not like underhandedly trying to figure out the entire lore. And the thing is probably because my motivation hasn't been to figure out the lore as a main thing. Like, I've always been more about the mechanics and the gameplay and bug hunting and finding out, well, what's not working? Why is the gameplay fun? What could make it more fun? What is like, is this an immersive or engaging experience versus, do you feel detached at certain points? And so certain types of feedback make more sense for what I do, but I'm not the lore master. I can hand off things to someone who is, and he can make the decisions on that because he owns the franchise. So no, but I do know some things that I just can't divulge. I think that would be a huge spoiler to certain theories and people and all that. But I do like and try to encourage like thinking through different branches. I think that's really cool, and figuring out ways to interpret the series that make sense, and then coming up with your own paradigm and framework, and like, okay, is this, like, it goes into the scientific method. Like, you test it and you're like, okay, well, does this make sense? All right, no, this factor's wrong, this variable's wrong, let me revise it. Then it's like, you have this boat that you're trying to take on the sea, and you got to test it several times, and eventually, like, you have this really cool boat by the end. Like, cool, well, all right, you figured out a lot of stuff. And legitimately so. So I think that's cool. And it's a series where there can be some mystery, and I don't want to spoil those aspects. So I don't know. I would say like I'd say like a lot of lore hunters would know more lore than me probably, but for certain situations or whatnot, like I can't divulge certain things. So it'd be funny if you tested VR1 and logged Glitch Trap as a bug in the game, and Steel will pretend to have no idea what you were talking about. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the meant to be glitch in the system. Yeah, that's a bug. Severity critical, like priority high. Oh man. Now, what is your opinion on the current FNAF lore? I can't really say that, I guess. How did you come with the 50-20 strat? Trial and error for the most part. One big part of Ultimate Custom Night was Daco had this thing with Scott, and it was going to be a matter of, can Daco beat this crazy mode? And so I spent a lot of hours, not just me playing, but like I was helping Daco along the way, and people were taking it as like me versus Daco, but I was helping him nightly. Like I was trying to get him across the finish line and help him across. I was hoping he would get first on that. I was like, okay, well, this is the big deal, and big showdown, Daco versus Scott, that type of thing. But he had my help. So, and like you've seen me help him too on streams. Like I helped him through 1020 mode on FNAF 2 on stream, FNAF 3 aggressive nightmare mode on stream, and he wants to do FNAF 4 as well. I mean, I'd brush up on that. I'd be willing to do that. He knows that. So yeah, that's one thing that if I have the time to do it, then I can do that too. But anyway, like I like helping people through these things and thinking through those types of processes. Rika, hey, hope you're doing well. Super Luigi, did you see Markiplier's Iron Lung film? I just haven't had time to get out there. So no, if it's streaming, that would be much more convenient for my time frames. But man, I'm just so jam-packed with absolutely everything right now, and if I get ahead on writing, maybe I could field that time. I still have the invite open to Markiplier. I mean, if he wants help with 50/20 mode ever, then he knows where to go. So he can send me a message, send me an email, whatever. What has been the hardest game that you've played that is not a FNAF game? Huh. The Myst series. And the hardest one was Riven. The hardest one was Riven. And it was so early in the series. It was the second game, but the fire marble puzzle was a real stumper for me for a while. And I was this like, what was I like? I was like maybe 13 years old and playing this game and trying to figure out these puzzles. And I ended up being like 1 unit off on one of the marbles, and there was no like verification on the correct ones. So I just thought I was completely off. And then, I just redid the puzzle completely, which is what I had to do. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this could be here too. And then I figured it out. I'm like, oh, so it was one off this whole time, and it just didn't tell me. And the way that it tells you is, like a sound that this thing makes, and it kind of locks into place. And it's not the best verification either. But that's the Myst series. There's a lot of intuitive, missing, like fill in the blanks clues to puzzles that you have to. Like, it's a lot of fun, but. I didn't play, I should say, I played through absolutely everything except for the part in Myst Revelation where you have to sacrifice to like an incense deity or something like that. And I'm just like, I don't even want to do that in a game. So I found a save online. I got to the part and I'm like, I'm not going to do this. Let me find a save. So I got the save, and then I went after that point. But so that's the only thing I didn't do, which was, what was it called? Dream, I think was that, which is funny because I get a lot of dreams. But, yeah, I didn't do Dream in that game. I just experienced dreams in real life, I guess. But yeah, definitely that's the hardest series, and that would be the hardest game that I've played. It's a lot of brain-racking puzzles. If you use walkthroughs or something, it would be really easy, I think. But figuring it out is a lot of the fun. I need to play Firmament. Abduction was really fun. That was a really, really good and well done mid difficulty game. In that puzzle kind of is a spin-off basically by Cyan Worlds, but I'm a big fan of those types of puzzle games and all that. Get Dako to do FNAF 4. Yeah. He needs to finish the hard modes on FNAF 4 for sure. Oh, the blue stars are going to be really difficult if he wants to do those. I think he just wants to go through 2020, which would be night 8, but if he wants to go through all of the stars, that's a pain. You get used to the patterns and all, but it's just it's a little bit of a pain. And then Kimberly, thanks for being here. Going to head out now, but have a great evening. I hope you had an awesome birthday. God bless. Thank you. Oh yeah, I remember your Riven videos. Yeah. And then, have you seen any of Astral Spiff's FNAF content? Of course, yeah. We've done, like, he and I, every now and then I'll stop by a stream or something, or he'll mention me in a video, or like with the golf in Ruin, so the back 9 on Gator Golf, getting some of those holes in ones. He was referencing my video and all that, and I think I stopped by his stream when or something like that. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean man, he gets a lot of views. he's figured out a lot of this stuff, but he's got a good thing going. Blind Mad Freddy Insta Foxy was the worst for sure. And the All Nightmare was another. So you had, like, someone made a mod where you can have all 3 active at once, and you can't do that normally in the game, but that was an extra mod. So another simple mod of things, but yeah, Shadow. The I knew about it. Like, you get a star from 420 mode, but it's another thing too. Like, if Mark wants to get through 1020 mode, I'd love to help him out there too. So it's just one of those things. Like, I get it, and I get his time constraints and all that. So, but yeah, is there a way we can help a report somewhere if we notice something wrong, editing wise, in the graphic novels? Also, Juggle Boy, have a good night. Juggle Boy, we're having people here tomorrow night if you want to be here. I think people are just going to want to play Step Maniacs or watch me play or something. But and then I'll have all of this other stuff set up too. So it's optional, but otherwise I'll see you Sunday. Yeah, in person. Is there anywhere to report if we notice something wrong with the novels? Um, I mean, I guess like you can email me. Like that's I don't know. I work with with the editor directly on some of this stuff. So on a lot of the stuff that I'm assigned. So um, I don't know. Yeah, that probably just email me is the way to go. I don't know. There might be a Scholastic email for reporting. That'd be more like me friendly because like this would be an extra thing I'd have to report and take time to do. But like it would be cool to get rid of all of the errors, and so if I have help doing that, then cool. Um, and if this turns into like a bigger team that tackle stuff, or someone who's better with lore and all that who can handle some of that, then great. But um, yeah, okay, Sunday for sure. Cool. Mr. Bear, thank you. Happy birthday. Yeah. Doing it with Nightmare on instead of Nightmare is so much worse because you can't hear anything over his music box. Yeah. It does add the extra element there. Or you have Nightmare Mangle with the audio mod and all that. That's kind of, I'm remembering right. It's been a little while. But cool. And I kept up with chat pretty well. I feel pretty good about that. With the teleprompter XL, you can actually read the chat or read a window on the teleprompter, and so you could I could scroll through the chat and be looking at the camera, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. And I should say, like, my birthday, April 1st, so technically now it is not my birthday, but, yeah, Nightmare Mangle is loud, yeah. I guess you get the extra audio cues, which is kind of cool. I don't even know. I I got a lot of things that I could make videos about still, so but I do want to get some certain ones done, especially the walkthroughs. But it's running into the same problem, like with Ruin. Like I love playtesting Ruin, and I thought it was a great redemptive type of thing that Steelwool did. I'm like, yeah, this is really cool, and not a lot of people, not a lot of people. Not a lot of people had major problems with it. There were some things with the conduit puzzle where you could still fall through the floor. There were still some issues if you had really high frame rate. The engine was kind of wonky with jumping on railings and jumping over onto ceilings and through the ceiling. So there were still issues with that, but a lot of that was frame rate dependent. So some people's boxes are not going to have that issue. Some people are going to have that issue, especially like if you have what are these new monitors like 540 hertz. I'd love to give some of these games a go on 540 hertz monitors to see what crazy things could happen just because of this high refresh rate. But anyway, job for another day. I think sometimes I do goofy things with my testing too. Also, Mr. Bear, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great night. With Secret of the Mimic, I spent maybe a day and a half testing all of the lockers that I could fall through and just seeing where I would end up and what I could do and where I could pause. I just found that so fun. It was such a broken thing, but like, and with the ball gun too, you could propel yourself all sorts of places. That was a lot of fun too. These goofy things, like, not just finding them, but if they're there, they're so much fun to play around with. And so I think there's like with Security Breach, most of the fun that I have was with version 1.04, and you could do the curtain climb, and you could jump through ceilings and go to all sorts of wild places because of that. You could jump through and end up at the sinkhole, and you're like, oh, well, now I'm here with cool. Well, I got here in, what was it, like 3 minutes or something? I don't think it couldn't have been 3 minutes, but maybe, actually. Yeah, maybe. It was really fast. But you get to the sinkhole super fast by jumping on the staircase on Roxy Raceway, and then like jumping. You jump down so far, the Insta LOD doesn't process fast enough. If you have a good enough computer, like it'll load in fast enough, and you won't be able to do that. So some computers will do that, some won't. But some of the goofiest things that exist in games are some of the most fun. But they're seen as majorly broken because it's silly. Did you see people beating Secret of the Mimic in like under 5 minutes? Yes. And I mean, it was the locker stuff that we knew about. Especially, you can do stuff with the ball gun too, but you got to actually get there to get the ball gun. But yeah. There was a rumor about some like driver's side return to once you get to the door and you could like instantly leave or something, but that wasn't a thing. That was a what, a YouTube short edit or something like that. So yeah, you're definitely my favorite FNAF YouTuber. Thanks. I need to just make more YouTube videos, I guess, but I gotta figure that out with my schedule. Why did that hide that one? Okay, that one's fine. You don't have to. Whoever moderated that, you don't have to do that. But I saw it. Oh, I've already gotten this question. What's my favorite Bible verse? You can rewind for that, but Romans 10 verse 9. So if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. So this is a big rescue mission by Jesus. So yeah, trust in him. He says himself, he is the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father except through him. So it's like C.S. Lewis put it, either he is liar, lunatic, or Lord. So if he says he is the Son of God and Savior of the world, and he isn't, then he would be a liar. If he says that he's the Son of God and Savior of the world, and he really believes that he is, but he isn't, then he would be a lunatic. And or if he actually is, then he's Lord. I take him as Lord. But I went into a pretty interesting freestyle through scripture about that, so you can go back and watch that. So so yeah, that was Phil's question earlier. Have I ever played the FNAF Dead by Daylight? I entered into a FNAF Dead by Daylight well, I guess it was just a Dead by Daylight tournament. It was the first time that I'd picked it up, and it's not really my style of game either, but it was for a charity stream. I don't know. It's something, I don't know. I kind of stink at it. Like, I'm just not good at it, and it's not something that I feel like, hey, let me load up Dead by Daylight for some funsies. I'm more like, let me hook up 2K26 and let's try not to foul out and end the game in the first quarter. Like, let me try to get a quintuple double. Let's fill out the stat sheet and do get some crazy blocks. Like, the blocks are crazy. Like when you get them, and then when you get the passing lane just right, and you steal it, run back a little bit, throw the alley over your head, and you just LeBron with the windmill. Oh man, that's fun. Favorite book of the Bible? Interesting. Man, either Acts or Habakkuk, or Habakkuk. Great books. Habakkuk about the suffering, how long, O Lord, and then also a resolution that, like, even if the fields are fallow, even if everything fails, then we're still going to put our trust in the Lord, and knowing that there's a longer term than just the current moment, but there's hope of restoration with what God brings about. So yeah, and Acts, of course, like you have the works of the Holy Spirit through the apostles. Really, really great book. And we're teaching, like I'm teaching through that. I should say, for the most part. Like last year, it was more like 93% of the weeks I taught, and the year before more like 95. But I've been training up 2 new teachers to take on a lot of the duties. So it's more like 70% of the time I'm teaching right now, which is much better. But I'm trying to share the load and make sure there are good teachers in place, that we can have a team-based approach and develop that leadership. So yeah, encourage them in their gifts. Don't want to be a hog either. Very rarely do I find someone I can talk to about Christianity and FNAF in the same time frame. It's very cool. Yeah, like what biblical themes are there? Like someone asked me if there are parallels between the FNAF story and the story of Joseph, and I'm like, that's an interesting thing. But we're dealing with, well, then you're getting into, well, is this dream theory? is this getting into stuff where you're putting a framework on top of something that you may be eisegeting a conclusion. I really like the Gospel of John and the Book of Job. Yeah, those are excellent ones too. I mean, anything you mention is probably gonna be like, yeah, that's a really good book. John, yeah, we taught through John. Oh, that was awesome. John is an excellent gospel. I saw a meme. So you have like who cut off the servant Malchus's ear, and it was left anonymous. Like it was left anonymous in the synoptics, but it shows. So it shows Matthew, Mark, and Luke writing, and then the fourth panel you have John. His eyes are like wide open. He's like, "It was Peter. It was Peter. Peter did it." It's like all these things. Like I outran Peter to the tomb, and it's like, why do you put this detail in, John? Oh man, so interesting. But yeah, John gets to the heart of who Jesus is, and it's really cool. Um, Honestly, a video of how Scott's faith has impacted his games would be really cool. Yeah, there are instances where I get a draft of something and it takes like it'll say OMG like explicitly, and I'm like, okay, well, and that could be a borderline thing for some, but it's yeah, for a lot of people take that as taking the name of the Lord in vain, or at least taking it very casually, and so that's one of the things I'm like, okay, well, what do you want with this? And so I definitely like in my work, I don't want this to occur at all. And so like he's been pretty direct about that, and um, yeah, people are people. It's one thing. Like people can put Scott on a pedestal that he doesn't want to be on. It's just um, they see the stories, they admire certain things, but um, people are fallible. I'm fallible. I mean, I fall into the group of sinners who are redeemed by Jesus too. So it's like, okay, cool. So there's a humility to it as well. So yeah, that there should be at least some consideration and understanding of that too. Nobody's going to bat 1,000 all the time. I guess there's one exception to that, of course. Yeah. Okay, well, I should probably, now that I'm caught up with chat, thanks, Romeo, I should probably get to sleep. Tomorrow I did take off work, and I'm gonna do some cool stuff, and I'll figure it out. A lot of today was just, I mean, part of it was the Bible study at the mall, and so I ran that, taught that, and then a lot of it was taking calls from family, and hearing a lot of people talking. I'm like just listening. Like, all right, cool. Let me listen today. I'm gonna let people have that benefit, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be like, okay, let me take a day for myself and just kind of chill out and do some fun stuff. So I'll figure it out. I don't have anything directly planned outside of in the evening. I am having some people over, so some people did want to see me play Step Maniacs. They didn't want to see me play FNAF. I guess they don't know about me playing FNAF, but I don't know. I know it's, there's one group that definitely would want to see me play FNAF over Step Maniacs for sure, who are going to be there. So, or actually, I should say that might be there or might be there another night, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Cool. Have a good night. Okay, happy birthday, Sturf. Have a great night. I hope to be in your streams more often. Thanks. And the thing is too, like, don't read too much into direct statements, which would be like, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm not trying to put anyone under the bus. I'm not trying to besmirch someone's name. I'm not meaning to like I'm trying to clear the air on a lot of these things that are on social media, and like I know about them, but a lot of times like I'm working on something and I can't really speak to this, so it's just one of those things. But anyway, I hope there's some understanding for me as well. If I miss something, just let me know. And I'm not 100% perfect, of course, but I'm a pretty observant person, and I have a good track record on finding a lot of things, and very 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 efficiently finding things. But anyway, maybe one day you'll see my poetry in the series. That would be cool. But I don't know, that talking Scott into that would probably be kind of a funny ordeal. May the Lord be with you all. Stay close to him and keep on the armor of God. Yeah, Ephesians 6. That's what I'm talking about. Once again, happy birthday. Cool. All right, y'all have a good night. God bless y'all. And yeah, it was a good birthday. And I'll see y'all what fun things I can do tomorrow. See if I can be productive, get ahead on certain things, and then yeah, figure it out from there. Cool. I'll check y'all later. The end.